Gather around, freaks. It's time to get your license to kill revoked and then learn about the cocaine trafficking industry at great length and detail. So gather around the internet campfire and gather around the internet campfire. I wrote that twice because it's time once again for Hey. Did you see this one?
Hello, 007. You're about to embark on a high-stakes mission that could shake the foundations of pulp culture. Your objective, dive into a certain franchise with a sharp, action-packed analysis. Infiltrate the world of espionage and glitz, dissecting the cunning of your foes, the allure of your vehicles, and your iconic gadgets. Prepare to tackle sensitive topics that could spark heated debates. Everything from the ethics of MI6 to the subtext in Goldfinger. This mission captures the essence of danger and allure. Your findings may attract the attention from rival podcasters and covert organizations. Harness your charisma, stay cool under pressure, and create a podcast that leaves the listeners breathless. Good luck, 007, because this month, Hey Did You See This One invites you to the Big Book of British Bonds.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Hey Did You See This One, the weekly review, reaction, roundtable discussion podcast, where we just have to ask the question, hey, did you see this one? On this show, we take a film and completely pull it apart, leaving no stone unturned. We are your co-hosts. I'm Jason T. Phillips, and I'm joined, as always, by Stephen Bubba Blackfly Waters. Hello.
That's me. Hi. This is what I sound like now. I hope you guys are prepared to listen to this for 3.5 hours.
Well, we're going to push 4.5 because we started so early. So we're going to actually talk until about 1 a.m. It is a special Sunday edition of the show, a special Sunday hangover edition. I had some scheduling conflicts, so we had to push it out. But I didn't want to skip over Tim's episode because Tim is back on the show. Please welcome Tim Covey back to the show. Back to the show, Tim Covey. Back to the show. And it is episode 100. It is episode 199 of the show. Can you imagine that? It's wild work putting in.
Yeah, honestly,
like that.
First of all, mega congratulations to you guys ahead of time on coming up to the big 200. This is to be even a part of this from so long ago. Just it's wonderful to see it get this far, and I can't wait to see how much farther it goes. So,
well, we're gonna do 201 episodes, and then I'm canceling it. It is actually kind of a bit of a milestone as well. For this episode, it's season 3, episode 50. So it's been 50 episodes that we've been doing it in this format, which is a pretty big milestone as well. But that, as Tim mentioned, next week is our 200th extravaganza episode. We're going to be talking about GoldenEye. But this week, we're talking about License to Kill. The big book of British Bonds flips its pages once more. We've taken it down off the shelf, and we've opened up to the second and final Timothy Dalton James Bond film, License to Kill, from 1989. And yeah, it was a pretty good movie. It's one of the since we did it on the weekend. I watched it later in the week, and I sat down on my couch on my TV and watched it like a movie should be watched all the way through properly. I kind of treated it a bit like how they used to air them on TBS, where I would take little breaks to like get up and get food as if there were like commercial breaks, get food or like check my phone. I was on call this weekend. Anyway, blah bitty blah bitty blah. This is a podcast.
Interesting. Tell us more about it.
Yeah, thanks. Why don't we move right into our first segment of this particular show, which is, of course, our quick synopsis. Zardos, are you out there?
Zardoz speaks to you. He demands you synopsize this film. Tell him how, why, who, what occurs in this film.
So Tim has cordially agreed to tell us about the synopsis, but before we get to that, you have been on the show. This has got to be 15 times at this point, but we do have a sting for the 5 Timers Club that I wanted to grace you with. So Steve, if you could hit the 5 Timers Club sting.
Welcome to the 5 Timers Club.
I never thought this would happen.
I can't believe this is happening.
But I couldn't see this.
Oh my God, that's so beautiful.
I never thought this would happen.
You must really like me. Thank you.
Yes. We also are going to play the MPAA rating game, bringing that back for one night only later in the show. But yeah, Tim, just give us a brief what happens in this film for us. And yeah.
Okay. Well, super briefly. So James Bond's good friend Felix Leiter gets injured and his wife gets killed, and he goes on a revenge trip against the person who did it, a drug lord from south of the border. I'm assuming Panamanian, but anyway, and because he goes a rogue, he's actually gets his license to kill revoked, and so he's trying to do it mostly on his own with his own resources, and beats a grittier, harder Bond for that time, and has a lot happen in it, which we'll go over, and by the end, mostly resolves with a lot of things kind of being a bit of a mixed message. But otherwise, a lot of wild things happen with a lot of interesting, fun character actors showing up that are from all sorts of other familiar things.
Yeah, including 2 people from the Mortal Kombat movie.
Mortal Kombat, and 1 person from the Street Fighter movie as well.
Yep. Great. Well, thank you, Tim. That's pretty much it. I don't think I have anything else to add. The big emphasis on the cocaine trade and the cartels, which I don't think I've seen in a James Bond movie yet.
Yeah.
From our watch throughs, it's been mostly like just bland Europe. A lot of just going around Europe from country to country, especially in From Russia with Love, where it goes back to MI6, and then it's like, now you got to go here.
Yeah. Well, there actually is a lot of departure from what was the Bond staple in this, as far as the usual tropes, up to and including he doesn't drink his own dry vodka martini. There's a deviation in that as well. So there's all sorts of interesting little changes that they did for this. Took a lot of chances, but for a lot of funny background reasons.
It feels like the most realistic Bond up to this point
Mhm.
that we've seen anyway. Like it feels like pretty grounded,
Mhm.
probably until even we get to the Pierce Bronson ones are very like almost like superhero-y movie. Like he becomes like this different kind of James Bond, and then the Daniel Craig ones are like seem like they're grounded again.
Yeah.
But cool. Let's talk about our brief histories.
Ooh.
Oh my God, I don't know where the button is.
A brief history.
I'm kind of enjoying your struggle right now. Just a little bit.
Yeah, no, it's yeah. I want to give kudos to Steven once again because you know, going to a wedding and then having to do this thing. You're gonna sleep like a goddamn baby tonight, brother. But yeah, why don't Steven, why don't you go first and let us know your brief history with License to Kill?
Okay, I saw this movie when I was a kid, and I remember it, and it was kind of one of my least favorite ones. And then watching it this week, I was like, man, Timothy Dalton is in all the drug Bond movies, because the last Timothy Dalton we did, it was all about heroin, and this one's all about cocaine. And I'm like, if he was in another one, what would it all be about? MDMA? The modern MDMA James Bond? Adderall? The Adderall trade? Like,
the ibuprofen trade.
yeah.
He has to go through
10,000 pounds of Ritalin on that plane.
He has to go through the UK raver scene and take down some sort of raver James Bond villain.
Ugh.
Who just like is all, and he's got like a sidekick who's just like a spaced out girl with like, you know, neon paint all over her, who's just always like enraged mode.
Just throwing glow sticks at him.
Yeah, and high kicks. Okay, great. How about you, Tim?
Well, this is actually the first of the Bonds I've been on with y'all, and I've always been kind of like a little itchy to talk about a Bond with you guys. And when you gave me the option to talk about License to Kill, I was like, and I was playing it, whatever you want. And he said, no, please pick one. And I said, okay, License to Kill then, because it is a bit of a rogue element. Outside of his namesake, I'm a big fan of Timothy Dalton, and so when I was a kid seeing this, I remember thinking like, this is so very different than other James Bonds. And growing up in a James Bond household, where the Roger Moore and Sean Connery goofiness was typical fare, this was an outlier with the enhanced violence, the enhanced seriousness, and you know, and different kinds of stunts that happen in this too. That it always stood out, and it was always hard to kind of say whether it was good or bad, but it was most certainly unique. And it was always just kind of on the back burner as far as, you know, what's your favorite Bond? And I said, look, I've got my favorites, but for some reason, this one I would still keep in a special spot that I don't know quite the name. And then when you, in the earlier the year, when you guys were talking about Bond stuff, I rewatched all the Bonds again. And then when I got to this one, I had a renewed appreciation for it. And then here we are now and watched it again, still like it for what it is.
That's great. Yeah. Do you have a favorite Bond movie out of all of them?
At this point, I've got my favorite for each iteration. Believe it or not, my favorite Lazenby is on His Majesty's Secret Service. But
he only made one, folks. Lazenby was only in one.
That's the joke.
That's the joke.
But yeah, Connery, it's like the gold standard Goldfinger. For Roger Moore, Man with the Golden Gun. This one for Timothy Dalton. And I'm actually tied between Casino Royale and not Quantum of Solace, but Skyfall. Thank you. Those two I enjoy very much, only because there's a lot more drawn from the Ian Fleming books as far as that gritty realness of spies. But yeah, as far as like one that I can casually watch anytime would be Man with the Golden Gun, only because there's something about 3 nipples on one person.
Yeah. It was a plot device.
There it is.
That's me with the groom.
Mhm.
That's 3 of those movies have gold in them. Would you say that you love gold?
I love gold. Yes, yes. I think just because Goldfinger sets the standard of Bond villains so much better than Dr. No does. In that sense, where it's an overblown plot and with all sorts of goofs, gaffs, and stunts and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, like so many Bonds are based off of the successes of Goldfinger.
Yeah, it seems like this iteration of Bond, he's very much all the gaffes are happening around him with other characters. Like he's stone sober the whole time.
Yeah, very stern. It's a very, very different approach, which I understand is not to everyone's liking.
Yeah.
Q is hilarious in this one, though.
Even compared to the last Timothy Dalton, he's even a little bit more like sharp around the edges. Where the last one, he kind of was like,
Mhm.
"Oh, I'm Bond." I can't do my Dalton voice right now. I can't do it.
Oh, your classic Dalton's gone.
Yeah.
Okay, great. For me, it's pretty much the same. I kind of remember this one from it being on TBS when I was a kid. I would watch these movies with my grandmother when I was young.
Mhm.
I kind of gave you guys already like the deal with me watching it this week. I actually sat down and enjoyed it on a large TV. I watch a lot of our movies, just like get them into my brain, which Steve, of course, disagrees with.
This
But,
fucking kid doesn't know how to watch movies pisses me off so goddamn much.
But it's all here. I can.
Oh yeah, you say that, but there's plenty of evidence to the contrary.
Anyway,
It's
I'll never
fucking-
live this down. It's gonna ruin the tour. But yeah, no, I James Bond, I never really watched them all the way through until we started doing them for the pod. I have obviously seen a bunch of them over the years, but this one, the License to Kill is so like synonymous with James Bond that this movie felt important going in. And the next movie is GoldenEye, which is the one that I've easily seen the most, and there's such a stark change of tone between this one and the next one that this one's like drug cartels and seriousness, and then the next one kind of a return to form where Pierce Brosnan's more of like a charm guy and it's more of a sci-fi thriller spy espionage thing in Russia. So I'm excited to cover that next week. This movie though I really did enjoy, and I'm pleased to be talking about it with you, Tim. Yeah, so I don't have a whole lot for production talk. I did pull up some notes about it. We can talk about that stuff, but we can get into some production talk here.
Production talk.
All right. Quiet on set. Are we rolling? Okay, let's shoot this piece of shit. Sound. Speed. Action!
Was that Albert R. Broccoli there?
Yeah. The Broccoli Brothers. We are James Bond. Now Amazon is.
Yeah.
I
Paramount
see.
Plus is just like jazzing all over it. So the budget of this movie was 32 mil. Box office 156.1 mil according to Wikipedia. That's pretty good return on investment. I think there will be a sequel. In fact, I know there's a sequel. Do you guys have anything about this movie that you would like to sort of run down?
The director, John Glenn, was primarily an editor, but he has directed a bunch of James Bond movies. He did For Your Eyes Only, Octopussy, A View to Kill, Living Daylights, and License to Kill.
Yeah.
So he did the last one, but he also edited The Spy Who Loved Me. So he's a James Bond staple. He's been around. The Broccolis love this guy. But he also worked on some pretty prestigious stuff too. He's the editor for Superman, and he also edited Moonraker, which we will cover one day on this show. And also Her Majesty's Secret Service he edited too. So look at that, all the way back to Lazenby.
It's actually like this movie kind of marks the end for a lot of people involved with Bond, because this was, I believe, the last one that Albert R. Broccoli was directly involved with. This was the last one where Ian Fleming was the last Bond film Ian Fleming actually showed up on set to see, but he couldn't stick around because in Mexico City, where they were filming some of this, the high altitude and pollution he couldn't handle and had to leave, and I think had to get medical care afterwards. Last movie for the director, there was a lot of people that had
It's like a microaggression by Ian Fleming. Filthy Mexican air. Ugh.
Well, I
I'm
can't speak
having
to
a medical emergency. Get me out of here. I need a helicopter.
we're talking about somebody that was born in like 1910, so like quite there's a chance, but anyway. But as far as because MGM at the time was kind of hemorrhaging money, and they were still paying off the budget costs, interest from borrowing money for the budget costs of Moonraker. That even though this movie did bring in a decent amount of money, it didn't actually technically everything concerned like really break all that even, because financially it's considered one of the ones that struggled more because of that deficit that Bond movies have been working with at that time for past 10 years, that they were still paying off a budget from that previous Moonraker from 1979. And the idea of them doing a drug trade in this movie as the kind of focus had to do with the fact that in 1989 the Soviet Union was falling apart. So to have a Soviet Union plot background to it didn't seem to entice anybody.
Right.
And on top of it all, this actually wasn't admitted until maybe 10 years ago or so. But because there was also within the atmosphere of the AIDS epidemic, and people were still trying to figure out what they were going to do and how they're going to have open conversations about it, there was apprehension to have as much Bond having sex with people as they normally would. So that was actually toned down a bit. And meanwhile, the violence was cranked up because this is the first Bond to get a PG-13 rating.
Oh, okay.
So there was a lot of things about this movie that was the end of a lot of people's time, including as it would turn out for Timothy Dalton. And there was a writer's strike just before this. So there was all sorts of things kind of coming in the way. And that $32 million budget you mentioned is something that they poke fun at in the movie because they were hoping to have a bigger budget than that. And so there's a part towards the end where the guy says, there goes $32 million facility. And like, that's referencing the budget of the film.
Right.
Interesting.
Also, we
Yes.
should mention, we've said it before on the podcast, but the reason it was the first is because in between this Bond and the last Bond, that's when PG-13 was invented.
Yeah.
So it literally wasn't around before. So they didn't have a rating system that was as nuanced as it was when this movie came out.
Yeah.
If you think about it, I think every James Bond movie would have been PG-13 had they had the rating around at the time, you know.
Yeah. And it would be another
a lot of women.
Yeah, there would be another 5 years before GoldenEye, and in that time, Timothy Dalton was interested in a third Bond, but they ran out of time and they couldn't renew his contract, and he wasn't interested in renegotiating again, and said, "Well, this is it then." At that point, and then that's when they opened up to Pierce Brosnan for GoldenEye, because the one they were going to do with Timothy Dalton, believe it or not, in the early '90s, was going to have a subplot involving nanomachines. Like Metal Gear Solid 4 or something.
Yeah, this one has some interesting tech in it, like the original CD tray for a computer. The disk drive for it takes a regular size CD like we know now, but the tray is about 10 times
the size
larger.
of a fucking pizza box.
I was going to say this thing's like a toaster oven that he's putting his CD into. Yeah.
Insert pizza now. Thank you.
Thank you. Cooking your pizza.
Your pizza is ready.
I've never seen that drive, but I would have. Home computers didn't really exist the way they do now in 1989. People had them, but they would make a whole room for it. It would be the computer room, you know. That's everybody just has laptops now. We don't really. You have a tower maybe for gaming, tucked away, probably hooked up to your main TV a lot of times, or in an office or a study that's, you know, for more than just the computer. But it was interesting to see this technology from 1989, cutting edge. That thing probably cost $4,000 just for the drive. Wow. Yeah. So I don't have a whole lot. I was going to ask you about why Timothy Dalton didn't continue going, but you kind of answered that. It would be interesting to see a movie in between this and Goldeneye that covers sort of the Gulf War, maybe too. Could have touched on that a bit. Because it goes right back to the Red Scare for some reason in like the mid 90s, which isn't even.
Well, I mean, this is for your Goldeneye thing. I don't want to take away from that, but that had a lot to do with in the post-Soviet Russia, people like military factions now becoming criminals, which is directly what happens in that movie. But that's for your next guest.
Yeah. Who you mentioned? We mentioned two people are from Mortal Kombat. Who's the actor who's in Street Fighter?
So the guy that's the DEA agent that confronts Bond and says, like, you're going rogue, and he brings him to the Hemingway house. He plays Balrog in Street Fighter.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, that guy. Okay, that's where I recognized him from.
He's a character actor in all sorts of stuff, including like Exorcist 3, my favorite Exorcist, and all that. He's been in a few different things. Yeah,
he's in Die Hard.
So the villain is the two agents that have the same name but they're not related. So the villain from this is that agent from Die Hard, and that guy is his partner.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's a lot of overlapping in this movie.
The villain in this is a 80s character actor, if I'm not mistaken. He's been in a million things.
Robert Davi.
Yeah. Also, Anthony Zerba is from a million things too. The guy that plays Crest. I thought he had a prosthetic eye because his eyes are like, I don't know. He's got this crazy like googly eye look to him.
Yeah.
It's very effective for this like smarmy, gross weirdo who just owns a boat, and it's like his only role in the whole movie. He just owns the boat. Got the crest walker or whatever.
Well, Robert Davi also is just one of those guys. It's like, you look like a scumbag, so you're gonna play a scumbag in every fucking movie. Remember he was in Showgirls, and he's like, I'm the pimp with the heart of gold. You're gonna make it in this town, kid. I believe in you.
And if you want to stick
around, go out there and shake that ass.
I thought he was Sagat for a second when you mentioned that. I went and looked it up. It's a different actor, obviously, but he's got that same pockmarked look.
Yeah.
But I wonder how many cartel members that actor has played in his career. Member, lowly grunt right up to like the leader of a cartel.
Yeah.
He's got that look, and people were very typecast, still are. In those kinds of roles.
Yeah.
I think there's one actor who was in like Breaking Bad, and he's only ever played a gang member named Hector. Like it's like a running gag, which is pretty fun. Cool. Well, if you guys don't have anything else to add, just
Davi was in Halo too. What the heck?
Yeah.
And Halo 3.
And I noticed Crest is the general in one of the Matrix movies.
Yeah, and he was also in Star Trek Insurrection as yet another bad Starfleet admiral.
Right on. I just real quick, the song for this movie is good. The License to Kill opening credits song is good, in my opinion.
I really like it. I was like, this movie isn't doing it for me. It's not making me want to dance.
It's more of an R&B kind of.
I ain't tapping my toes to this shit. That's what I said.
I'm just imagining some of the other Bond movies. All of a sudden, you get the movement to follow finds you.
I'm zipping up and down the apartment. Goldfinger,
Steven, get off the table. We just sat
down. No, Goldfingers is on.
Goldfingers.
I was talking to Danny, and I kept saying Goldfingers instead of Goldfinger, and she's like, I don't know. Or they were like, I don't know why it's so much grosser when you pluralize it. It makes it sound so disgusting.
It's me, Goldfingers.
I'm Goldfingers.
My fingers are made of gold. But just tonally, this movie we already kind of touched on, but it just has that like it feels like an 80s action movie compared to other James Bonds from the 60s and 70s that have their own look and feel. Like it's like the James Bond spy film look.
Mhm.
This just feels like you're watching a
A
Stallone movie or something. Yeah, it also doesn't feel like they're on sets the whole time like the
You
old
know
James
what? I'm
Bonds
gonna
do.
drink a cider and maybe it'll bring me to life. I'll be right back.
All right. I'm gonna have a beer after this coffee, so I'm ready. I'm to life. I took, like you, Tim, I took a nap this afternoon as well.
Mhm.
Well, he grabs that. I think we can go right into.
Oh,
Is it time for the body of the episode?
The what?
The
The
body
body.
of the episode.
Oh, everybody back up because here comes the body of the episode.
I love
I'm
these new
especially proud
graphics.
of that one. Yeah. I made the history one and the body of the episode, and like they took the longest. Some of them I haven't even like done more to, but the body and history. Yeah, thank you. So
Guy talks about this shit every episode now.
it's
Here's
true.
exactly how long it took me to make this. All
And
right.
it's exactly this time. Felix Leiter is getting married, but it seems to be interrupted, and then there's an altercation with the
Also,
Mexican.
Felix
Colombian-
Leiter is so old.
How did he get old?
The actor's 61 in this, and he's getting up there in this movie.
I always think of Felix Leiter and James Bond being more or less the same age, but in this, it's like this guy's got full on jowls over here, bro.
I like to think my Felix Leiter has like blonde hair and is like you said the same age as Bond, and he's like very handsome and American.
There's so many Felix Leiters, but yeah, this one is. I mean, it's good that his leg gets bit off.
Yeah,
Because
because when he's running around at the beginning, you can tell that he's like, "All right, hold my walker. All right, yell action louder. I can't hear. I can't
was
hear
a
you
ver-
over this helicopter."
that was all kept in the movie too.
Yeah. And he's like,
And he's getting married to his child bride, who is actually probably like 45 or 50, but by
It kind of looks like Cameron Diaz to me a little bit, just a little.
yeah, and everybody's trying to kiss her the whole
Yeah.
time.
not trying. They're succeeding.
Yeah, and it's like square on the lips too. It's not like they're getting near misses on the forehead or whatever. Yeah,
Oh my god, it's so weird.
Yeah,
And,
it's
Like,
right
I'm gonna go
now-
kiss your wife now, and Felix Leiter's like, "See you later."
All right.
Anyway, Bond, here's
Everybody
the
in a line. Everybody line up and smooch my wife. Everyone kiss my wife, please.
yeah. Florida
So
looks like a
not
weird.
only is Felix Leiter old in this one, but he's also a turbo cuck.
I mean, I don't know if they're boning his wife, but
Turbo cuck. I just wanted to break Tim.
yeah. 007 in Turbo Cock. Turbo Cock. Wah, wah, wah.
I'm just imagining more of like Darkwing Duck, but Turbo Cuck. But anyway,
Turbo cuck. Let's get dangerous.
He's the man with the robot cuck. He'll fucking fuck your wife.
And J.O. Anyway, so they're dealing. I didn't know what kind of a cartel. I think they're like, is he actually Cuban? No, is he actually Colombian? But he's
They
trying
mention-
to
they
go to
mention-
Cuba.
well, they talk a lot about isthmus in this movie, which is in Panama, which is why I was.
Yeah.
But it's very non-specific. But I'm assuming Panamanian, but I don't know.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, Bond movies a lot of the time they're just like, well, let's make it vague because we don't want to
Yeah.
really like,
Eastern
throw an
Europe.
entire culture under the bus here. Let's
Yeah.
just make it as vague as possible.
Mhm.
Okay, so he's a Panamaniac, and but it seems like the bust is happening in the same area as the wedding is happening, just as a happenstance. I kind of missed why.
I mean, far enough away that they have to take a full-on fucking helicopter to get there. It's not like it's down the street, you know.
Yeah, but
But then they like
close enough. Yeah.
parachute in on the wedding.
After they chase a plane for a while,
I guess, yeah.
planes are fast, guys.
Which was a great
You can
sequence.
travel great distances in very little time. It's crazy.
This episode's been brought to you by airplanes.
Yeah.
Now flying wherever you want to go. They're not bad. I really like the set piece here, the sequence where they dangle Bond out of the plane or out of the helicopter, and he dangles down onto the plane and like hooks it up, and then they just pull up and it
It
stops.
reminded me a
flying.
lot of what's that movie called? What the fuck is that movie?
Your
called?
favorite.
Chitty Bang Bang. Remember when the old man is inside the little tiny shack and he's flying in the good movie. It was pretty competent action sequence. It was, felt original. This felt like something I hadn't necessarily seen before, but like a plane being like fish hooked and like stopped in midair and then dangling underneath the helicopter is pretty cool. It was weird. There's some weirdness to it though, like when Felix is like going like this to the winch or whatever, and I'm like, Felix, get your fucking hand off there. You're not doing shit. Why are you pretending?
This old coot doesn't know what he's doing.
He's like, slowly. All right, up, down, slow. I'm like, they can't hear you, Felix. You know how loud helicopters are?
He's just talking in a normal
goes,
voice.
Yeah, I'll go, what? What are you saying?
I
What?
can't hear you. I'll just pretend like you know what he's saying.
Yeah. And seeing James Bond flapping his arms as he's being held up by the crane that's a lot of fun too.
Competent action sequence. They get their man, and they make it just in time, the skin of their teeth, to the wedding. They parachute down to the wedding. By the way, they do not take their parachutes off. They just walk right in the church with the parachutes still strapped to their bags.
Do you take this parachuted man to be your lawful wedded husband?
She greets Bond before she greets Felix also. And I'm like, wait, I thought Felix was getting married here. Is Bond getting married? What is happening? What?
That's not true. Felix lands and he sprints for her and makes out with her, and then Bond lands and then she runs over and gives him a kiss.
No, I think.
Which the actor in real life injured his 61-year-old leg landing on a parachute. Yeah.
Like, my knees. Oh!
Just
pop, pop, pop.
Brittle and old.
Yeah.
Well, at any rate, Bond is way too flirty with his best friend's wife.
But so is everyone. It's really weird. But
is that like a thing? Is that like an old custom or something? Like if the best man kisses the groom?
I don't know. I'm almost 42 and I have never seen anything like that.
I watched this and I was like, I'm going to a wedding this weekend. How weird would it be if I walked to the bride and just smooched her? But right when I got there,
laid one on her.
Well, it depends. Did you parachute in? But anyway.
I was considering it, but I thought it would maybe overshadow the entire event if I had done that. I didn't do it. So they get married, and then there's a little bit of exposition here and there, but we get one of our random devices that will come back at some point in the story, and Felix Leiter gives him a crazy flamethrower lighter, which is like, what the fuck is this even for? Felix?
Too bad his name's not like Felix Bazooka or whatever. Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Felix. I'll add it to my collection. This motherfucker gets me a bazooka every year. Every time he gets married, which happens a lot, by the way.
Felix nuclear weapon turns into a whole thing.
Yeah.
So we're doing cartels this time around, which we find out during the sequence. There's the technology I mentioned earlier. I wrote, stop kissing this man's wife, because even the other guy's like, well, I'm gonna go out and kiss your wife now. It's like, why are you announcing this also?
I think the weirder part is that, like, if he was always kissing her in front of Felix, then that's one thing, right? Because it's like, then there's a level of awareness, but like they're alone in a side room and they're kissing. I'm like, this is so weird.
Yeah, nearly knocking over his cake and her arms are wrapped around him, and it's like, oh boy.
That's the part that I was like most. It wasn't just an innocent peck. They like kiss.
Yeah,
it's weird. Anyway, let's not talking about that. We all agree it's fucking weird.
Right.
Now they're sad.
So then we go over to Sanchez, who's being moved. I assume to some sort of prison, and he's got the whole convoy. And of course, one of the guards is working for the other, or one of the officers, one of the agents, is working for the other team.
You telling me the guy named Killifer is a bad guy? Whoa.
We were going to name him Jennifer, but now it's Killifer.
No, it's called
Did Hideo Kojima name that character?
We also get a little bit of setup where they're interrogating him, and he offers him $2 million or something like that to spring him. He's like, I always pay people who spring me, I'll give you $2 million. Mm-hmm. And Killifer acts offended. He's also at the wedding, So he's clearly one of Felix and Bond's co-workers or friends. I guess you can call them buddies, but I think he's meant to be a better friend with Felix.
Yeah.
But he is the one that ultimately ends up betraying him and runs the truck off the road into the water off of the bridge. I assume it's Florida, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
The Key West
road that goes, goes down to Disney World, I believe.
Right to the bottom, and I'm like, scuba guys? Are scuba guys going to show up? As I'm saying, and scuba guys show up. Yeah.
There's a lot of scuba action in this movie, actually. It's pretty
yes.
great. Later on, when all the cocaine's in the water, he's just in the water with the cocaine. I'm like, there's a bunch of moments in this movie where I'm like, is Bond just fucking geeked to the gills right now because there's just cocaine in the air, or he's swimming through it?
Yeah.
He also, it's so weird when he's destroying all that cocaine. I'm like, why are you destroying that? Like, that's evidence. Like, don't they need that to be like, you're going to jail for having all this cocaine? But Bond's like stabbing it with a knife and like draining all the coke into the water. All the fish are freaking out.
This coked out ocean.
There's like 1,000 fish ODing around him. And you're like, oh my god.
The new sequel to Cocaine Bear, Cocaine Shark
Mhm.
happens in this movie.
Anyway, that's a little later, but they spring him and they put him in a sub or something, right? Like a little mini sub, and then they free him and Killefer, and they escape, and then we go back to the wedding for a little bit more exposition and a little bit more. I guess setting up of things later. Well, I mean, they put the disc into like a picture frame or something.
Right.
Yeah. At the wedding where Bond sees that happen, he's actually talking with his Felix is talking to what's her name? You see her later in the movie anyway. But this kind of little foreshadowing of this person who's an informant about the drug lord.
Pam Bouvier.
Yes, which is a reference to Kennedy. Because her code name is Kennedy, but her real name's Bouvier, which is a reference to Jackie Onassis. Because her maiden name was Bouvier.
That's right. This garter belt scene made me feel a weird way because she's like, "Oh, I forgot, I didn't give the like, isn't the groom supposed to take the garter belt off anyway?"
No.
The whole thing is to set up that it's the last movie where he was about to get married and then she gets killed, right? Or was that in a movie like
Majesty's Secret Service?
That was a while ago, right? It's like he can never get married again.
Yeah, because his brides keep getting killed. He can't love anyone truly, even when he just is. A whole movie is called "The Spy Who Loved Me." Anyway, she throws the garter, and Bond is a pervy weirdo, and he sniffs it and goes, "Ooh la la!" And he gets
Awooga.
He's like, and they immediately are
So versatile. It's so good.
They immediately are attacked by Benicio del Toro and the boys. His name is, what is his name? Dario? Is it Dario?
Yeah, Dario.
And they kidnap Felix Leiter and murder his wife like immediately.
Yeah.
And feed him to a shark.
I think
a portion of him to a shark. Yeah.
They feed his leg to a shark, but and I think a bit of his arm. But yeah, they're looking for the disc, I assume, because they turn over the entire house as well. And basically they're like, well, fuck you, Felix Leiter, and they dangle him over a pit inside of like a warehouse on the water, and a bunch of sharks high on cocaine come in and snack on him, and we presume he's dead. But James Bond then comes back to their home for some reason. I can't remember why he comes back.
So at the airport, he saw on the news that the drug lord escaped, and he's like, "Oh, my friend might be in danger."
Right. So he comes back to check on them, and to his dismay, she dead, and Felix is in a garbage bag.
Doesn't the desk attendant at the airport, isn't it that he says that he escaped?
Well,
because I remember being
he says,
like,
"What's going
how
on?"
is he finding out this information from a desk attendant at an airport?
No, the news is probably playing on the TV, but yeah, he's like, "What's going on?" Because everyone's kind of freaking out, and she's like, "Some big drug lord just escaped from convoy or whatever. And Bond's like, why? And she's like, but your ticket, sir. And I'm like, oh, wah, wah. This movie's so cool. And he gets he gets in his car, leaves, and finds Felix Leiter wrapped up in a bunch of tarps or whatever. And he's like, oh my god. But then we all think Felix is dead, but he's alive still. Yeah. He's just horribly maimed by a shark. Which we don't see, but left up to our imagination. I'm like, I've seen some pretty rancid, raunchy, fucking disgusting images in Jaws and stuff when he's going through the shark attack book and it's showing all the shark bites.
Yeah,
shark attacks are no joke. Usually leave you pretty devastated physically.
Mm-hmm. True. Yeah.
And they get him to the hospital, and Bond is pissed off, and basically this whole story becomes like a revenge story. There's not a ton outside of that. We start to learn more about what the cartel are doing and the other types of criminal factions that they're working with, and Bond is uncovering more than he was necessarily equipped to handle, and it's more or less his own revenge though that's driving him. He doesn't particularly care about anything else other than
it also seems like there's like a bit of a cover-up happening about the shark, because they're like, a chainsaw clearly did it, and then his buddy comes in and he's like, I've seen shark bites. That was a shark bite. Why are there sharks here? There's only one person that could have sharks. It's that exotic fish handler Crest. Also, how about the note that was left with Leiter? He disagreed with something that ate him.
Yeah, so I'm like pretty dyslexic, and I struggled so hard to read that note. I was like, what the fuck does this say?
I'm just the one dude writes it down, the other one's like, what does that even mean? He said, don't worry, it's clever. It's really clever.
No, this guy is gonna blow this Bond guy's brains out his ears. I'm telling you.
You've got the worst sense of humor. You don't get my humor. Forget it.
It's gonna make the audience laugh, and they're like, what audience?
Smart people understand it.
Yeah.
Okay,
you guys got smart people. Don't laugh at this joke.
I had a sensible groan to it, actually. I went, ugh.
The FBI has like an entire locker just filled with this guy's notes that he leaves on all of the corpses that they find, and they're all just fucked up and weird.
It's his buddy Sharky, which I think is another recurring character from a previous Bond.
I don't know. Is he?
So wasn't he in For Your Eyes Only?
Maybe. Sharky James Bond.
Anyway.
A local fisherman who owns his own business, Sharky's Charters. He's a close friend to Felix Leiter and James Bond. How many movies is he in, guys? Which movies? No, he's just in the one, apparently.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there is the other guy from Dr. No, and then like his son is like a recurring character. I can't remember what the character's name is, but he's also like a sort of like I don't think he's a fisherman, but he's like a charter captain as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think this guy's in anything except this. I was like convinced that he must be like some sort of like local law enforcement or something because he's with them. He's just some guy. He's like,
some shark man.
Yeah, I'm the shark man. I'm the local shark man. Yeah. He was killed by Clive. Did he die in this movie? When did he die?
Yes, that's later on when Bond's inspecting the Crest boat.
And the guy's like, and his name was Sharky.
Yeah.
And then Bond shoots him with a harpoon like seconds later.
Yeah. Good to see him, Sharky.
This movie is very much what Steve's been talking about over the last couple of weeks as well, where Bond is very much like a hothead who just does stuff, seemingly. It always kind of works out for him. But in this one especially, Bond's just blowing up stuff like willy-nilly. He blows up that whole compound. Just like he doesn't even do it subtly. Like later in the movie, he just takes an opportunity to blow a room up to as a distraction.
My point about the cocaine is like he's not concerned about arresting this guy. He's just trying to fuck this guy's whole thing over. Like this whole operation, he's just trying to like upend it. He's going to steal all the money and all the drugs during the exchange. He's going to fucking spend all the money and he's going to destroy the drugs so that no one can have it. He goes back to the guy and like buys into his casino with his own money. It's like it's crazy.
It's all over the joint. And meanwhile, at the beginning, Felix Leiter wants to arrest him because they want to put him on trial and put him through an actual, judiciary process. And meanwhile, motivated by the fact that because he had lost his wife before, now Felix has lost his wife, and so he's projecting his own issues into the situation.
Yeah,
And-
there's also a small part of it that I think is like, we've already tried this once, and if he escaped once, he'll be able to escape again. This guy's got seemingly unlimited money. He can escape whenever he needs to, so we have to kill him.
Yeah, since he's above the law, then we have to go outside of the law.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is great. It is a great, I love the rogue agent thing, which we're going to talk about here in a second. I was wondering if the little submarine thing that he had, the Shark Hunter 2, I was wondering if that could go down to the Titanic.
This is actually the second appearance of that sub, because that was used in For Your Eyes Only. So they're reusing some props in this.
For British
Oh, interesting. I like. There was a blink and you'll miss it moment where Bond knows that Felix was there when he just sees the lapel flower on the ground from the wedding. And that was a nice little. I had to rewind it to be like, did he notice it? And that's why he's like, okay, I'm good here. And it's a 1 second little thing.
Well, it's for us. It's for our sake. That's why the camera pans down to it, right?
It's for our eyes only.
That's for how we know why he knows to come back. He sees the flower. He comes back later and he starts sticking his fingers in all the mealworms or whatever the fuck. And he's like,
literally maggot.
Yeah. They do some sort of like. They said that they're breeding these fish specifically for certain purposes. They're all male so that they grow faster and larger.
Yeah,
and they're using this like specifically bred worm in order to whatever. He's bullshitting Bond basically because it's actually just a front for his cocaine business where he hides all the cocaine inside the worms.
Yeah, because he under the guise of Universal Exports is trying to buy a great white shark.
Yes.
Do you have any left over?
And he's like, no, we got rid of all of our sharks a long time ago, but actually there's maybe several underneath our feet right now just swimming around waiting for us to drop bodies down in there.
Yeah, also Bond literally saw a shark 2 seconds ago and we got a shark jump scare.
Yeah, and then he hucks a bunch of worms in a guy's face, which is funny. You mind if I get my hands out of these goddamn worms? Yeah, all right, but no funny business. My eyes! Worms!
My one
Coke
weakness.
worm was my nickname in high school, but this is ridiculous.
He knocks him out and puts him into the fucking worm thing and closes it.
Yeah, and then what does he says he does a classic Bond line when he does it. I can't remember what he says, but it's some stupid one-liner.
Worm you later or whatever.
Yeah.
Worm you later. He also throws a guy into an electric eel tank and electrocutes him.
Yep.
Which is such a action movie trope. Like
I would call that a cartoon trope more than an action movie trope.
Yeah.
That's what
I meant to
Bugs
say.
Bunny would do to you. How can or it's like a Spider-Man. Like, isn't that how fucking Electro gets his powers? Or
That's
whatever?
literally how Electro gets his powers in this stupid, amazing Sony-verse Spider-Man.
And then after that,
I'm pretty sure that's how he gets his powers in the comic books too, which is basically they're just using the source material.
Oh.
You think they're gonna huck electric eels into a movie if it wasn't in the ridiculous Spider-Man comic books?
Well, the whole thing with the Sony Spider-Man movies where all the villains were going to have some sort of like animal thing.
So like Spider-Man, the Vulture, the Rhino. Yeah,
exactly.
All of his villains are weird animals.
I always called Spider-Man like he either fights animals or Halloween characters.
Yeah, Spider-Man villains are so odd. They're all so strange. Like,
yeah.
I mean, that's not to say that like Batman doesn't have weird villains, but Batman's villains, at least there's something going on there. Whereas Spider-Man villains, it seems like Stan Lee was just going through like a book of zoology. He's like, can we make a cheetah man or some shit? What about a pigeon man? Pigeon man.
Well, that's the whole idea of mutants. Is that he was getting tired of writing origin stories for all this, and he didn't like using science mishaps over and over and over again of science going awry.
Yeah, what if they're just mutants?
Yeah.
What if he was made of rocks?
What if he was a rhino man? That would be cool, right?
That would
Right,
be
guys?
cool.
Yeah, sure, Stan. What do you want him to wear? I don't know. Skin tight suit. Just got a couple horns on his face. It'll be
He's from
great.
New Jersey.
He's from Jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Alright.
he gets caught digging through. He gets Killifer, throws him into the shark pit with the $2 million. So he's not even interested in money either.
Yeah.
Like he just wants to
No.
destroy
Which-
everything. Burn
When
it
He
you
all
should have
down.
gave that $2 million to Sharky.
Yeah, or charity, or use it to
Yeah.
fulfill his mission. Like that money is actually, believe it or not, James Bond, incredibly useful. You can
Yeah.
trade that for goods and services. Like
Guess that they're trying to show that James Bond he's
it's not about the money.
yeah, he's above the money in this situation. He's about the mission for revenge.
Yeah,
But at the same time, I think all of us saw that and went, "What are you fucking stupid, James Bond?" That's a
yeah.
lot
There's
of
just
a lot of dough.
all sorts of people in this neighborhood that have medical bills that you could just give that to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bond doesn't
No, he's
care
gonna
about that.
he's gonna take it to a casino and put it all on red, like he kind of does later. But Bond is summoned while he's doing this investigation to like this weird. It's like a consulate, but it turns out that M is there, and
The Hemingway historical house.
the Hemingway
yeah.
house. That's in Florida, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Basically,
he,
yeah, he assigns him to like a job in like Istanbul or something. and
Istanbul, yeah.
He's
It's
like,
always
"No."
Istanbul.
He's like, "I'm going to send you to another very boring country, Bond." And Bond's like, "I have to take revenge on this fucking Coke man." And M's like, "Nuh-uh, you're not doing it." And then Bond is like, "I'll see about that." And he starts punching everybody, and the snipers are shooting him like, "What, Bond? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Your license to kill has been revoked." And he's like, "Well, I'm going to kill people anyway." asshole."
That's when they said the name of the movie in the movie.
You set that up very nicely, Steve.
Thanks. Yeah, this is where we hear the title drop of the movie, which most James Bond's movies do have the title in there in some capacity.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's very odd, and like even while I was watching, me and Danny were like, I was like, why did he do that? And Danny was like, well, because they're trying to send him away, and I'm like, he could have just said no and walked away. He didn't need to sucker punch a guy and like chest kick M and call him an old fuck, and then give the two double fingers on the way down. Like,
Here's your double O.
yeah.
He's super, super mad. He's a rogue agent this time.
Yeah, it just seemed like a little bit over the top, but I guess this is, again, they're trying to show that like he's not even gonna have the support of his own government in this situation. So
Yeah.
much so that he's gonna burn that bridge if he has to, just to get his way. I believe he still takes his gun with him too. Like he's about to hand over the gun when he's like, "No, James
So-
Bond powers activate."
Well, what I wanted to ask you, I actually have a question for you guys. What does Bond still have his license to kill during this movie? Does giving
No.
up the gun transfer
not.
that? So
Yeah.
he's just out here.
No, a gun
killing
is not like
people.
is not the license. Like it has like a number
Yeah.
on it, like a serial number on it.
Yeah.
That's his license number. No, they revoke it, so he doesn't have it. So everyone he's killing it's technically illegal, and he can be imprisoned for it.
Yeah.
That's the
I'm
part
sure,
that I was like,
I'm sure in the aftermath of all of this and his success in the mission that he completes, they probably were like, "All right, we'll retroactively give you your license to kill back for all those deaths you caused."
They
For the
kind of
hundreds of
covered at the
murders
end
they
with they mentioned a phone call that someone else had about it at the very end.
It's a lot of paperwork for him, and he's pissed off.
And the Bond has to do a written test to get it back again.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'll just mark C for all, whatever.
yeah, satisfactory.
51%. Your license to kill is in fact back in play. We meet the young lady Lupe at this point, who played Melina, I believe, in Mortal Kombat as well.
Katana.
It was Katana. Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Melina's the one with the crazy bottom of her face.
Mhm.
She's watching TV, listening to music, and reading all at the same time, which I can identify with. And the guy, what's his face? I keep wanting to call him Kraft, but it's Crest. Comes in.
Yes, yeah.
He's all googly eyes, being a creep to her, and she kicks him out and calls him out for creeping. Because we see a scene of him like walking down a hallway and doing one of these ones into her room.
Yeah.
what do you do? Why does his bedroom have windows? First of all,
It's inside of a boat. Yeah.
Yeah, it's also implied that he's like drunk all the time, right? So he's probably just some
Mhm.
hammered, pervy, whiskeyed up maniac.
Just smells like whiskey and
I'm
cigarettes.
the captain of this ship. It's like, actually, you're not the captain of this ship. There's a literal captain who is up there, and he's the captain. He's like, no, I'm the captain, with his fucking praying mantis eyes, like, ugh, in the face.
And then somebody runs in the room and is like, "You got to come see this quick. There's something on the radar." And it's
And he's like, "Damn
a
it.
man.
I was about to get laid, and she's like, no, you weren't.
No, you weren't. Slaps him. We see a manta ray on the little camera, which it turns out to be a human-sized manta ray because it is James Bond dressed as a manta ray.
Mm-hmm.
Now I've seen everything.
James Bond knows how to whip up a fucking manta ray disguise. I'll tell you, this guy didn't even have any money to make that thing.
He's just at home, like arts and crafts. He did a Michael's run and made this.
Yeah, he's like, excuse me, miss, do you have any Bristol board and glue, Elmer's glue, preferably?
Or what's worse, Q built it.
Yeah,
It just had it spare.
Yeah.
they've been
Q, I need the
quite some
the
time.
manta ray costume.
Yeah, it's a manta ray, and it has manta ray guns on it. See?
Q Branch, you've done it again.
Yeah, you're a mad genius, Q. Yeah, so he gets in, and you think it's gonna be a stealth mission, but not really. He starts fucking people up immediately, just punching people, kicking people, knocking people out. And then he sneaks for a bit more, and then he starts knocking more people out again. And
Yeah. And he spots the money in the decompression chamber too, in that blue wrap packaging.
The ship got a moon door, which is cool, or a moon pool. I guess it's a moon pool. If it's, I don't know what they're called, but I
think those things are called where you can like swim under and come up in a boat. What's interesting too is I think this is the first time I've ever seen James Bond interrogate a woman and not at least slap her once.
I think this is the end of the James Bond slaps women era, and now he just roughs them up because I don't think Dalton slapped a woman in the last one either.
Oh, okay.
And I don't think Pierce Brosnan does it all unless he's being physically assaulted by a woman. He does not lay hands.
Yeah. Only in
Like
self.
he fist fights Xenia Onatopp, but she's like
she's trying
a
to
crazy ninja. Yeah.
Yeah.
literally squeeze him to death with her thighs.
And he's like, I'm kind of into this.
Which would have made that fight scene in Eastern Promises a little more interesting. But because also Bond notices that she has the whip marks on her back from the villain, because at the very beginning, which prompted all that, he caught her having an affair with some other guy, and that's why he came to Florida to begin with. That was their chance to get him at the very beginning. So yeah, he sees that she has the whip marks on her back from being caught with someone else. He goes, did he do this to you?
Yeah. Sorry, autism attack. Happens. What was I going to say something? My brain got blanked out. Never mind. You guys keep going. I need to collect my thoughts.
Recombobulate. Yeah. So they're like Steven kind of laid it out. He busts in, sneaks, busts out, shoots a guy with a harpoon and right in the chest, jumps off the boat, grabs his scuba gear, and they're moving money and cocaine onto, I guess, a helicopter. And I wrote, is the cocaine the MacGuffin in this movie? The disc is really like, it's like the decoder or whatever, the James Bond thing. But it really felt like for a time in this film that the cocaine was like the special thing about this, especially at this point. But yeah, naturally Bond just starts yeeting and stabbing the coke. And then I was like, wouldn't he just be getting coke all in his own face? He dives back into the water, he's swimming through it.
Listen, James Bond has been microdosing cocaine for 2 decades. He has built up a major immunity to it.
This doesn't even move the meter for him.
It's going to take more cocaine than that to stop James Bond.
he shouted into the mirror.
Did you hear like coke all across his face?
Yeah, his nose is bleeding. then there's a big underwater fight, which I thought was great, and then it turns into him getting away by water skiing behind the helicopter, the plane. It's a seaplane, actually, right?
Yeah.
Or is it a
Yeah,
helicopter? Seaplane?
and-
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're like international waters doing this trade, which is like how the drug lord has been using this Crest company to funnel drugs into the United States and exchanging money out.
Yes.
And then he knocks both people out of the plane, and he's got a bunch of bricks of money, giant
Yeah.
blue cubes of money. Which
He has some money in his hand, and he like fans himself and throws it, and he's
yeah,
laughing.
he's like slapping himself across the face. He's like,
He's coked up. He's geeked out of his fucking gourd.
It's kind of putting this movie into a different light, thinking about it that way. That, like,
But James Bond is just so coked out the whole time.
yeah, he's just wrecked the whole time.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Oh my god, I keep looking around at shadows and getting spooked. I'm like, oh, what the fuck? It's just my own shadow. Jesus.
oh my.
So Bond goes back to Felix Leiter's house. The place is ransacked. He finds the disc in the frame, the picture frame from earlier, and then he checks to see what's on it. And I was expecting for the UI of the, I don't know what I was expecting, but I didn't realize it was going to look like a old Macintosh like
Yeah,
computer from the 70s. I expected it to be like Windows 95 or something. But I'm like, what? I don't know why.
Windows 95 in 1989?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
CIA tech there for you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, it's like
But-
Matrix black and green. Like, computing. Please wait.
Playing
Thank
the
you.
light bike game from Tron. Yeah.
He's playing like Math Circus or whatever. What that fucking game was. Computing.
Tell me more of this Minesweeper.
Hmm.
Seems to just be a list of informants who are all deceased except for one, though.
He's playing solitaire and he's like,
Hit me. Hit me.
All in.
James Bond, you are playing solitaire. Thank you.
Hit me.
Got coke all over his
Smashes the computer.
Yeah, he breaks into a crime scene in this. There's actually without his license to kill, all things considered, no, he should be liable for at least something. Something's in this.
Yeah, murder. Lots of it.
Lots of murder.
Yeah.
He did 6 years. He did 6 years in jail. That's why there wasn't another movie for 6 years.
Mm.
And absorbing 7 pounds of cocaine through his skin.
Yeah, that's gotta be a crime somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Maybe not in international waters.
Crimes of the sea.
Crimes of the sea.
He walks into an airport and he's just immediately attacked by like 5 drug dogs.
People are just licking it off him like Flea and Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Yeah. Wow. Just geeked up.
Mm.
But yeah, he finds out like I was saying, there's just a list of informants on this disc. They're all deceased. Bouvier is the only one left.
Mm.
So he goes to Roadhouse.
Yeah, Sea House this time, but yeah.
Yeah. It turns into like he goes in there. He has kind of a meeting with Dario. Bouvier is like, she's not your typical Bond girl where she's got agency. She's smarter than Bond. She is very like a feminist kind of figure comparatively.
And that actress did a lot of her own stunts, and her nickname with the stunt coordinators was Pambo, play on Rambo.
Oh.
But that she was like that throw over, that when the person was choking from behind and she threw them over herself, like that was actually her and everything. So all things considered, to have somebody who was like a fashion model before all this to do that was interesting and different, as you say, for a Bond girl.
Mm-hmm.
And she had a lot more agency than a lot that we've covered. I mean, I think in a few of the Roger Moore movies, there's some female characters that are a little bit more edgy and a little bit more fully formed. But so many of them in the earlier Bonds, they're just basically cardboard cutouts of tits that are just floating around the movie.
like
They might as well not be there a lot of the time, and it's pretty offensive to watch now. You know, you see some of these old James Bond movies, and you're like, wow, they really just didn't even consider women to be people in these movies a lot of the time. They're just there.
like
From Russia with Love is particularly egregious too. She's like the worst character ever.
Yeah. And it makes her character seem dumb, but her character's supposed to be smart. I'm like, wait, so this character's supposed to be smart, yet the movie in no way is giving us any evidence of this because everything that she does is sort of like this flighty, airheaded nonsense.
This was apparently something Timothy Dalton was pushing for in the writing for these 2 Bond movies that he was in, was that he did want something a little bit more like the Ian Fleming novels,
right,
where those characters in the books do have I mean, for one, they motivate the story to go forward anyway, and by doing so they actually have choices and decisions and motivations on the go. It makes them more rounded characters, whereas in the movies the standards at the time were just terrible. But yeah, they were definitely leaning into those standards of just like, these people are just objects in this, you know. As much as like a generic goon for Bond to shoot, these are also things for Bond to shoot something with that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
and it goes through sort of ebbs and flows as a series too, right? Where like in some of the Pierce Brosnan movies, the characters are a little bit more well-rounded and interesting and seem like fully formed characters, but then there's also still like a whole shitload of those just like really wooden female characters that you're just like, yikes, this is a blast from the past in a bad way, guys.
Yeah.
They subverted the Bond girl thing with her a little bit, because she does get into a bikini at one point, and Bond does a little bit of like a heh, but it doesn't do the thing that the movies usually do, where they just like just hold on it for like too long.
Yeah,
it's a reveal that she is sexy, but that's not why we're here. We're here to see her do action shit. We're here to see her be smarter than Bond.
Yeah, and we're acknowledging that Bond finds her attractive, but he's not like, well, on second thought, I'm going to put this phone down and forget the mission and all that kind of stuff. They don't go way over the top with that, which in the Brosnans, they kind of go back to that a little bit. Hello, Eat for Life.
Welcome in. Eat for Life is a supporter of the show. I appreciate their the things that they've helped us out with. Good people. Yeah, and I really liked that Bond walks into this room, and they clearly were like, the success of Roadhouse, we could have a Roadhouse scene. That's what it felt like, because it's just like the drunkest people ever. There's like a woman dancing on like a little like stripper table thing.
Yeah,
and as soon as the fight breaks out towards the end of the scene, everybody starts fighting.
Yeah, and the woman keeps dancing. There's a part where she's like, she has this clear look on her face of, am I supposed to keep dancing? There's a lot of fighting and people are shooting guns, and she's still like, oh god.
It was just another Tuesday night here at C Roadhouse.
And then there's like another very cartoonish moment. There's like a few in this movie where you're just like, this movie just turned into a cartoon for a second when she shoots the shotgun at the wall and it's like a giant perfect circle that he didn't walk through.
It'd just be like a Bond-shaped to jump through. That would be too Naked Gun, perhaps, but yeah.
Oh man. And then she gets shot in the back.
Yeah.
And I guess she was wearing a bulletproof vest. I can't remember how it's revealed that she didn't get fucking paralyzed from that bullet, but
it was a bulletproof vest.
Yeah, really good Kevlar too, she says. So yeah, it's Benicio del Toro that manages to shoot her in the back. One thing to note about Benicio del Toro for this movie, he's the youngest performer for a Bond villain, because he was only 21 for this movie.
Yeah, he looks like a baby in this movie.
Yeah,
he's also, you can see how good of an actor he is even back then. He's just got it, man. Benicio del Toro is great. He does this thing where he can like bloodshot his own eyes, it seems like.
Yeah. and doing that little creepy lean on his head towards people. Yeah, really looks predatory.
Yeah, he's great. Just before we move on from the cartooniness of the Roadhouse sequence, how about the swordfish bit?
That was wild.
So impractical, this guy.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, you have a gun? I have a sword. And you're like, that's not a sword, sir.
Fish.
Like, yeah.
And like he manages to ram it through the chair with like easily, which is like, that thing's pretty heavy. And like also it's not like a steel tip on that nose. Like it's just an animal's thing,
Yeah.
Anyway, but that part's a little over the top.
Goofy.
Yeah.
But-
Yeah, I know
Well,
at
it's
the
going
beginning.
for- that's what I'm saying. Like this movie goes full Looney Tunes at times. Like that is something that Bugs Bunny would do. Pick up a swordfish and use it as a sword. Like it's so silly. And the electric eels and the fucking hole in the wall. Like all this stuff is like straight like. All right, let's get out of here. It's me, James.
Yeah, I can imagine during his debriefing back at MI6, and they're trying to wait for him to calm down a bit. You think he's still coked up. He's talking about swordfish here.
Yeah.
Yeah, James Bond is telling this story later.
He's like,
He's an unreliable narrator.
And then I pushed him into a vat of electric eels, and he got totally got fried. Ugh.
After
Remember
this
his
ordeal, he's got
character
the eyes
swordfish?
of the craft guy.
Yeah.
And a man who named his boat after himself, but it worked because it was Crest.
You know, me
What are you
and Tony
talking
Penny, me and
about?
you should write a book sometimes. We can make a lot of money off a book,
Hugh, can you get me a retractable straw, please? Made of steel, titanium. But so it does. The movie does return to form from a Bond sense, where they negotiate getting Bond into enemy territory, and then of course they allude to them having sex. I guess they kiss, and then it does that pan away where.
Yeah, at the very least, they have the excuse of they ran out of gas.
Yeah. Okay, so over to MI6. Moneypenny's nervous about the whole situation because M is like, "Hey, Bond is he's MIA right now. He's out there just killing indiscriminately. We've revoked his license to kill. He's no longer an agent." So Moneypenny gives him a little bit of a warning, I think. Is that
Well, she's trying to find him because they can't find him. So she after getting reprimanded by M calls up Q Branch, and that's where we get
Oh
her
yes, that's what it
little
was.
tie-in
I was thinking of the movie where she just starts talking directly to Bond on the tape. I think that was from Russia with Love. But yeah, they go to Isthmus. Is that the name of the town?
That's the name of the town in Panama. Yeah.
They show up to the hotel. Bond is like, "This is my executive secretary, Miss Kennedy," and afterward she's like, "Oh, why do I have to be the secretary? Why can't you be my secretary?" And Bond just laughs it off and doesn't even respond to it.
Well, yeah. He says we're south of the border now. It's a man's world.
He would say the same thing in the United States. Let's be real.
We're south of Canada now. It's a man's world.
Yeah. Yeah, and the look on her face when he says that is hilarious too. And he's like, "It's a man's world." She's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" So Bond sets up a line of credit with the stolen money from the plane
This is a
earlier.
line of cocaine.
I imagine he probably got a couple bricks, and since he's not operating under the license to kill, he's definitely also just doing cocaine secretly.
He's like, license to chill.
You guys want to go for a hike tomorrow morning? But yeah, he sets up the line of credit. He's there to find Sanchez. This line of credit place also is a casino. It seems like it's like a hedge fund in this place as well, because there's that scene where the guy is taking the investors around to show them the different stuff, but is he just showing them the casino?
So I think the casino, the bank, all these things are facilities for him to launder his
Right.
drug money.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bouvier gets a haircut, which shocks James Bond because women can't have short hair, obviously.
He's like, she's like, well, you said it's a man's world, so I got a man's haircut. And he's like,
Man, looks good. Still hot.
I'm still into it.
Shorter next time.
Also, how about Wayne Newton just being a character in this movie?
So that they actually wrote around the idea of Wayne Newton. Like, is there a way we can get Wayne Newton in this movie? because he was very excited to be part of a Bond movie. Because I think he was hoping to be a part of Diamonds Are Forever, but I might be mistaken about that. And so yeah, they came up with this televangelist type character for him to do, which I think it suits his acting capacity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked it. I thought it was interesting to see. They did this thing in the early 90s where Wayne Newton and Little Richards as well would just show up all the time in things, in like sitcoms and stuff,
Yeah.
in movies. And that's what this felt like. Like, let's just get a popular singer of the era in this.
And this is like right before he went into like full haunted doll mode, where he started getting like crazy plastic surgery and shit. He's like, "Hello, everybody. I'm Pastor Joe. We need your money." And then he looks, and his eyes look like little fucking shark doll's eyes.
Yeah, his teeth look like chiclets in this movie too. So yeah, it does look like he's on the cusp of those surgeries there.
Yeah, and he's like, "All we need is 99 cents to unlimited. Whatever you can donate, we appreciate it." Holy shit. Looks like Jesus loves this state even more because they just donated $10,000. Jesus loves you. Anywho.
But that whole thing is a part of their operation to communicate for like the drug market, so that like, oh, in Manhattan they want to sell it for, or they want to be able to buy it for this much or that much. So that's like the whole idea behind it, is that it's a coded front for all that, which doesn't, you think they'd be able to crack into that well enough, the CIA anyway, or maybe Felix Stead, you don't know.
That could be all part of what
There's
the,
also just like so many weird laws around religious stuff that like,
Well, that's
makes it
partially
so-
implied with that like they're able to circumvent all this stuff because of that.
and it makes
well,
it
just
super impenetrable to actual justice, because there's so many laws against being able to even look into what they're doing with money and stuff. It's like, well, it's religion. It's for God. God has
Yeah.
immunity.
You
I
can't-
have
you can't-
divine immunity.
which is insane to me.
Do.
But we also find out that there's like multiple different agencies like investigating this. Well, Bond is just like fucking it up for all of them. So I'm sure that somebody had a bead on the situation, because from what I understand, the way that I saw it is when somebody would call in and invest money or donate money, that was them making a bid for the cocaine.
Yeah, or like agreeing to like a price point that they're going to
Yeah.
sell or buy how much for. I forget exactly, but yeah, because there was the toady for the drug lord watching, and he was essentially decoding it for the audience of what was going on. Okay, good,
Yeah.
Manhattan's going to buy it for this or whatever it was.
Which I thought was an interesting little thing. Also, another interesting little thing: Sanchez has an iguana with a diamond necklace,
Mm-hmm.
which I thought was fake at first, but is definitely a real iguana because it moves at one point.
That's no Muppet.
I don't know why they would use a fake one. Well, they're in Florida. There's iguanas just everywhere. You can just pick one up off the side of the road.
It's true. When it was on his shoulder, though, it like didn't move at all.
I'd be more surprised if the diamond was real. than the iguana.
So it's time for a James Bond gambling segment, because what would a James Bond movie be without a gambling moment? He's just blowing Sanchez's money at his own casino, which is pretty genius. So he's coked up. He's addicted to gambling. Clearly, he's gambling with the house's money, which is fantastic. He ups the ante to no limit. They let him do it, and then they send Lupe down to be like, basically like, stop it.
Because like she's a former card shark, which is how she got involved into all of this.
Yeah,
Was that she used to work at his casino back in the day, and they show that like, so she's able to cascade the cards and play around with them and all that, so that she's kind of there to kind of deliberately to put a stop to Bond's winnings, that she's sneaking cards in to make him lose deliberately.
but Bond gets a boner. And Bouvier is, he does say the shaken not stirred line, which I thought this movie wasn't going to have. But you're right. He doesn't drink the drink. He gets Pam to go get it, and she ends up drinking it. And the way she grimaces when she takes a sip of his drink.
Yeah, Like, yeah, the look on her face, like, oh, this tastes like piss.
Yeah. This guy just drinks straight vodka. What a pervert.
Add that to the cocaine and gambling and straight vodka. Bond doesn't know what he's doing ever.
It's kind of miraculous that like people can stand to be near him. He must like reek to high hell. But anyway,
Yeah. It's also miraculous that nobody knows who he is ever, because he just walks around telling everybody who he is all the time, right before like shooting a guy with a harpoon and jumping out of an airplane and murdering 12 people. And I'm James Bond.
I'm the James Bond of legend.
but it does kind of work for this particular movie because he is using the idea of him being an agent on the run, that he's no longer part of MI6, and so he uses that at like, no, I used to be part of MI6 later on in the movie when he's talking to Sanchez.
All right. Right.
So in this movie, it's not as egregious, whereas in other ones where like he's just telling like everybody like be sure to tell your mailman that I'm James Bond, and like,
Yeah.
okay, whatever.
Spread the word, motherfucker.
Yeah. I mean, and this is where the movie gets a little bit convoluted for me and a little bit messy in terms of the amount of stuff that's happening.
There's
And
a lot happening.
it's like, it's super simple, but at the same time, it seems overly complicated in terms of narrative structure.
And tone as well. There's a lot of like, and not that it's unusual for James Bond to have like making light of violence, let's say, or making a little joke about something sexual happening. But this movie does struggle with tone, especially during the last half of the movie, where it's a little jarring to watch.
I agree. I think that the second half of this movie is not as strong as the first. There's not like a ton of intrigue or mystery going on at all throughout the entire movie. It's almost like we always know exactly what's happening at all times, and it makes the character less mysterious and, in my opinion, less interesting.
Yeah.
It is kind of cool to see just how far reaching this criminal organization is, and Bond it being sort of slowly revealed to him, but we're given it all so quickly that there's nothing left for us to be intrigued by after we're shown the entire extent of this criminal organization within like a 5-minute period, where it's like, oh yeah, it's a bank, it's also a casino, it's also, a bunch of drug dealers, also,
Keeps
the rest of the criminal world from across the entire globe is involved. Also, they have a televangelist trying to get them money to do secret, and you're like, okay, this is a lot of shit that they're doing. That's kind of cool. Would have been nice if we got that slowly throughout the entirety of the movie, but no, it's just all thrown at you sort of like almost right before the middle of the movie begins.
Yeah, like let's say for the televangelist, it would have been great if that was peppered in the beginning, that this is a background thing happening where while James wants the airport, he's noticing that like this is on the TV and like, oh, this is getting more popular. Why is this so popular?
Exactly.
Little things like that might help. But then again, we're asking for something probably a little bit more clever than 1989 Bond is capable of.
Yeah.
So it's
unfortunate because I think that people are a little bit smarter than we give them credit for a lot of the time. And, it sucks that movies just really feel the need to be like, here, this is exactly what it is. No questions asked.
Yeah.
But again, it's James Bond and it's sort of aiming for the widest margin, I think, and not necessarily.
Fast and Furious widths of nets being cast.
Yeah, exactly.
Hi, Lily.
Hello.
You gotta keep the formula. You gotta keep the formula going.
Formula's fine,
but
the thing about being given everything easily and not having to work for it as an audience member, it makes it less enjoyable for me. Like, I like when stuff is revealed, and I like being able to try and figure things out beforehand, and I like being right about my assumptions and things. But when it's all just given to you and you don't have enough time to really kind of digest it or analyze it in any way, it makes the experience less enjoyable for me. Like, it makes me be like, oh, this movie thinks I'm a fucking idiot, so now this movie is rude and mean and I don't like it.
Yeah, like, quick comparison to Goldfinger, where the idea behind that is everyone thinks it's about stealing gold, but it's not. It's about contaminating gold, which is like, it's a bit of a twist on the whole idea that it's not a robbery, that he's trying to actually increase the value of the gold that he already has. Yeah. And it's manipulation, so it's a little more subtle than you think it is, and it doesn't hit you over the head, and it doesn't add several layers to the cake to get to that.
Doesn't he also paint people gold in that movie, though?
Yeah, I mean, it's also got its weirdness too, for sure. Yeah.
That's
So-
how you know it was him.
Yeah.
He painted your lady gold, and they died of skin suffocation or some bullshit that probably doesn't
Yeah.
exist in real life.
It would, yeah, it's strange, but yeah, it's that point that we start to see another Mortal Kombat alumni, Kerry Tagawa, I believe his name is. Kerry, because he's got kind of a three-name name.
His
I got
name
you.
is. Where is he? Why isn't he on the page?
No, he's not on the main.
That's rude. He's kind of an important character.
Yeah, it's actually like a big motivating part, and you see him in the background. He was part of the tours and all that.
Kerry Hiroyuki Tagawa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's been in all sorts of stuff too, but he's one of those kind of like James Hong, where he's been kind of put in generically Asian roles in Western film.
Yeah.
Because I believe he's Japanese, but in this movie he's from Hong Kong, so it is a little bit subject to that obliviousness, we'll call it.
It was the
Yeah.
style at the time.
Yeah.
He's still working, it looks like, too.
Oh yeah, and he also did recent voice work for the Mortal Kombat games.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
he
yeah,
was-
because they did that crossover.
They also did the face capture for him, so like his character from the movie, from the '90s movie, is in the games as well, which is kind
Yeah.
of cool.
Your soul is mine.
You gotta love it. Well, no, you don't have to love it, but I do.
You do have to love it. You have to love Mortal Kombat.
It's illegal if you don't love Shang Tsung stealing your soul.
Right. So getting back on track with the story, basically Lupe takes Bond to see Sanchez. Sanchez doesn't really know who Bond is.
Take a breath. You're underwater.
They have a bit of a tense conversation about Bond coming in there and just being the most accomplished gambler in human history. Sanchez keeps his passport, and then we get word that Bond's uncle has shown up. Even I was like, "Fuck, he's gonna be." Turns out to be Q.
Yeah.
I figured it was going to be Q, but I was delighted because Q, once Q starts giving gadgets, it's always like a fun little reprieve from the movie where you're like, "What's Bond going to get this time?" Don't think it was the coolest stuff, but it was,
Explosive toothpaste doesn't really do it for me.
I guess that was the best he could smuggle in privately as an individual, but
Yeah.
It's also like because really the gadgetry that he brings is the least that he brings to it. What he actually brings is the fact that he's there to help Bond, and actually, and I believe his name was Desmond Lewis. So it's like two L's in his name, but anyway, this was like the most he's performed in a James Bond movie, and I think the most he was ever paid to be in a James Bond movie because he was on set for so much for several scenes. And the fact that like he's another person there to help Bond is actually interesting because he brings like the Polaroid that shoots a laser and stuff like that, and like, there's things that like he brought that's not used, but it's him being there to help with the capers going on for the rest of the story, which is an interesting little change for the Q character.
yeah. It is
Why
weird
did they
that
make
he
a
has
big deal
X-ray
about
camera.
showing the laser camera that also does an X-ray if they're not going to use at least the X-ray?
Because
I
they
guess-
wanted to have something more interesting for 2 seconds for us to be like, ha, 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 we
Oh,
are
I get
stupid idiots and we love this because James Bond is fun and lasers are cool and X-rays like Superman.
So
I guess
naturally,
it wakes the
Bond,
audience up a little, yeah.
yeah. Naturally, Bond goes undercover as a waiter. He makes it up to the roof. Kwang is in this sequence. That's the Shang Tsung actor. And there's a meeting of the investors going on while Bond uses his toothpaste and cigarettes to set up he sets up like the most elaborate, like he's gonna blow the window and then use his camera.
Well, it was kind of cool because like when he's in the office earlier, it shows him basically picking a sniper vantage point from
Oh yeah.
from inside the room, but it also makes a point to show a little like logo on the side of the window that like tells you as an audience member that this window is hella bulletproof and he's gonna need to take the window out if he wants to take a shot at him. So I'm glad. I like that kind of attention to detail, right? When it's like, okay, so Bond noticed that, he knows he has to blow the window open. He sees that he can shoot from across the way, so he's going to need to set up a bunch of stuff in order for all of that to work out in his favor. And he does. To his credit, everything that he sets up would have worked had he not been attacked by ninjas.
Ninjas from Hong Kong,
Yeah.
as it turns out.
And they go out of their way to show us that Bond's secret camera gun, which like the case that it's in, basically has like a sniper scope and a bunch of like attachments that clearly make it then look like a gun. So
It's
like,
just you may as well just have a gun.
I know, like it's so silly because it's like if any customs agent or anything opened up that case, they'd be like, "What is this? Some sort of camera gun? this shit. What you got all these attachments for? Clearly, this is a gun." He's like, "No, it's a camera. It's for shooting birds."
Yeah, with these bullets in this case. Yeah. So he wires the place for sound. Quang wants to see the hardware, which is the cocaine, because he's invested 100 mil. Like Steve just said, he sets up the fucking actual sniper rifle. Sanchez is like extorting the president during all of this of, I guess, Panama or just this town.
Yeah.
There's the ninjas that have spider powers. Did you notice that one shoots a web like this?
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's just a literal net, which I thought was funny.
Mm-hmm.
And he blows up the window, and then he doesn't get to take the shot. He gets attacked by his ninjas.
He
But
also
it turns
sees
out
that his partner is in there making some sort of shady deal, but he can't necessarily hear what they're talking about because I don't think he wired that room, just the other room.
Yeah. But yeah, she's talking to the head of security guy with the square jaw.
Yes.
I think his name's Hillier.
Yes.
And the ninjas kick the shit out of James Bond. They try and use his camera gun, but it has some sort of palm-coated technology that only allows him to fire the gun, which is a thing that's been used in more James Bond movies since. It is a cool thing, but it also seems like
it
seems like a thing. Yeah, but it also seems like a thing where they're like, well, if they are going to beat James Bond, then they're going to get his gun and they would just shoot him. And it's like, okay, so we'll put in something there so that they can't shoot James Bond. You know, it's like, okay, his gun can only be fired by himself. I don't hate it. I just find it weird and like okay, get his gun get kicked out of the window or some shit. It's not like that camera gun is coming back because it doesn't. It never comes back again.
It's not a thing.
They use it as a club and break it.
It turns out that the ninjas are part of Quang's group. He's actually part of Hong Kong Narcotics, and Bond has been fucking with their plans and their mission every step of the way.
It's not just Hong Kong Narcotics. It's also a joint sort of operation with British intelligence, and they're like, we've been setting this shit up for 10 fucking years, you moron. What are you doing? And the guy's like, no, we're going to send him back to the Queen's country, and we're going to cut his balls off. I'll make the call. Dun, 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 dun. Hello, Your Majesty. Yes, I have him here.
That's her ringtone. Well, I guess it's better than like "Who Let the Dogs Out" or whatever. But,
he's humming. No, he's humming that while it's ringing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like he is very staunchly British. Other agent who would not stick out like a sore thumb in Panama.
Yeah. They're all
military shows up.
They're all disguised as basically like drug dealers and criminal organizations that they're trying to get into this to get close to it. But yeah, the military shows up and kills every single person except James Bond.
Yeah, they managed to sneak tanks to there very easily, which is wild.
I noticed that. Well, they don't kill everybody. Quang is actually still alive, but he pops a cyanide pill.
Yeah, I actually felt a little sad for the one ninja girl. She's crying for the ninja guy that got killed. And I was like, that's a lot of emotion for this movie all of a sudden.
Yeah, for a split second, I'm like, oh, she's going to become a main character for getting this much emotion out of her character. It's like, no, it's like the Rancor from Return of the Jedi. Just wanted to humanize her for a minute.
Yeah. She gets shot like 9 times.
Yeah.
Instructed to go down shooting. He's like, don't let them take you alive. And she's like, got it.
Yeah. And remember, your soul is mine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then Bond just wakes up in a crazy room. I thought he was pretending to be asleep, but he was knocked out because they
They injected him with something. Did they inject him?
Did they?
No, I don't. Oh yeah. I think they did. So he's like struggling to maintain consciousness because I think they did get him.
Okay.
But then he wakes up in a enormous room, the biggest room ever, being stared at by a fish with a human face.
Yeah, that winks later.
That fucking weird fish that's like, hello. Would you like something to drink? Comes out of his mouth. And he's like, I can only do Pepsi or Coke.
Coke?
They're not the
Coke?
Did you say cocaine?
Not that kind of Coke, James Bond. But I have that too.
So Sanchez brought Bond back here in good faith because Sanchez thinks that Bond is literally just a rich ex-spy or ex-military or something.
Yeah.
He literally thinks that they're going to be best friends, and he wants to bring him into his like criminal empire. And I love when Bond movies do this, where like they're kind of buddies for a minute, not knowing that James Bond is James Bond.
Mm-hmm.
And Sanchez basically discusses the idea.
He knows,
that,
though. He's like, it's revealed that he's like well aware that this is James Bond. He's just acting.
Okay. I didn't. Okay, yeah,
yeah, because you had to step off for a second when we were talking about this. Where in this movie, where Bond's telling everyone that he's James Bond, in this movie, it does kind of work a little to his favor because he's using the fact that he's no longer part of MI6, which is true.
Oh, okay,
as a part of his motivation of why he's there, that he's looking for work, and he's trying to endear himself to Sanchez because of that. So he's using kind of a real life thing for once instead of just telling everybody I'm
it's
James
also one of those
Bond.
things where like if the villain didn't realize he was James Bond at this point, we would all be like, how the fuck did this guy become so fucking rich and powerful? He's so stupid. This guy's literally walking around saying he's James Bond and he doesn't know he's James Bond. What the fuck?
Yeah. Unfortunately, real life is full of really stupid rich people.
It's true, but you don't want that in a movie. You want the villain to seem smart at least.
It would not be satisfying in a movie.
Yeah.
I kind of got what was happening, but Tim, you just clarified it for me that I didn't put that context together. That's good. Maybe the movie isn't too handholdy for people like me who are just like watching it and letting it happen.
It's very handholdy. It's fucking so bad, especially after the middle. It's just like, here you go, dumb. Here's your movie. Eat it. And we're like, nom, 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 nom. Excuse me, fish man. Can I have some Coke?
Sure. I ended up with a big old spoon, but they do discuss. I did it with snorted it with a spoon. They do discuss.
Yeah, we got it. We understood.
They do discuss that there could be a mole in their midst. Sanchez is sure that everybody's 100%
Mole in the Mist was my nickname in high school.
Or it's the sequel to Gorillas in the Mist and Moles in the Mist.
I had a good one of those the other day. We were playing D&D, and they're like, it seems to me like you've got beef with your sister. And I'm like, Beef Sister was my nickname in high school.
Beef Sister. That's a good one.
It's good. If you
Very
can
good.
snap one off in a good moment, it's great.
Step off a Beef Sister.
Remember that 90s commercial? I want to snap me off a beef sister. Now.
Perfect. But there's no way there could be a mole. And Lupe and James Bond are sort of talking to each other, pretending not to know each other at first. And then when Sanchez is in the room, they're like, so what's next? They kind of hatch a plan to escape, which I think is pretty funny. It's just Lupe distracting guards while Bond just like in the background.
Yeah. You hear the pizzicato playing as he's tiptoeing between vases.
All the Mountain King is playing.
It's very Looney Tunes. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
The whole movie is sprinkled with Bugs Bunny shit the whole time. So weird. When she leaves on the boat and he's like on the side, like, blow the fuck out, you crazy bitch.
He's just
Well, I'm like, well, clearly Bond is in the back of the boat underneath some like
Right under a blanket or something.
safety vest,
No. No.
life jacket. No,
He's
he's
just submerged, holding on for dear fucking life.
yeah, still coke to the nines.
Yeah, that's how he's got maintained grip. He's got that
Yeah.
Coke grip. Coke grip was my nickname in high school.
Nailed it. Bond interrogates Bouvier when he gets back. She's not working for them. She's part of this investigation, as it turns out. And it's revealed that he has a side deal with the head of security, who also is in on it, I guess, is what I kind of drew from that. And then they want to buy 2 Stinger missiles to shoot down an airliner. Well, let me tell you, spoilers, they waste these 2 Stinger missiles on nothing. They miss with both of them.
Yeah,
The airliner portion, they try to kill James Bond with them.
yeah. This is where things start to go a little off the rails, where the cocaine rails, where
Cocaine rails, that was my nickname in high school, but like actually.
But this is where there's like too many things happening, and probably should be a little more focused, because you're right, because the Stingers don't really end up becoming all that relevant later on.
They're just
They're
a
just
new
kind of
MacGuffin.
there, but
There's
not.
already several MacGuffins.
Yeah, there's already enough motivation on the go. So yeah, there's some reason there's this added bit of ingredients happening, and you kind of forget about it. And then it comes up like, oh yeah, Stingers. Never mind, Stingers. Okay.
They never. Why did he want to shoot down an airliner? Just
Well, yeah, I guess to try to, as a negotiating tactic to, I don't know. Yeah, that's something I don't
also
think is
not
quite,
explained, right?
yeah, or at least not clearly.
I think it's one of those things where he's flexing power over people in order to manipulate, and he's already got power over the president of this region that he's inside of, and shooting down an airliner would be some sort of chip that he could put on the table in order to be like, you're going to work for me, or I'm going to keep blowing up airliners to whomever he wants to
Yeah.
exercise
with
the power over it.
With the president in his pocket, who, by the way, he was giving an allowance to, like a paycheck he's cut in half.
Mhm.
Sanchez is basically the president of this small Panama nation.
Yeah, essentially like a paradictator. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he cuts his paycheck in half almost for like a petty reason too, where it's like he got caught, he was going to go to jail, and he's like, I'm not going to pay you as much as I regularly pay you, because when I got caught, you didn't say anything. you didn't try. He's like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? You're a criminal. I can't be like, let him go.
Would it hurt you to send a card?
Yeah. You didn't even
Or you got pinched.
visit me in prison. Minus $1 million.
And meanwhile, he was in jail for like hours.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
like
that's true.
Maximum 3 hours before he
The
was
president says
scuba.
that you were in jail. You didn't even make it to jail. It's like, you still didn't visit me.
Yeah.
It's the effort that counts. But anyway.
Yeah. You know, there was a moment where in the early morning, I wasn't sure how long I was going to be in prison until the scuba gang showed up and got me maybe 45 minutes after that. But, you know, I'm pretty pissed about it.
Yeah.
So you only get $12 million now instead of $24 million.
But yeah, Pam reveals that Hillier was going to like grant her immunity for her past stuff, but because of all of this, Bond has just messed up everything for her as well, for her freedom. So like Bond has really just he's just fucked up everything as he's progressed through the story.
Yeah, it turns out when he doesn't
during his
have
rogue mission.
intelligence helping him out, he causes a lot of chaos and havoc and is detrimental to a lot of operations that are already undergoing.
Yeah, like it's as if like M was right that he shouldn't really interfere with this and let the CIA and the folks from Hong Kong, like we got a thumb on the scales here. You just no, you're not in the position for
Yeah,
this.
we need you in Istanbul, and he's like, I hate Istanbul. They don't even have cocaine there.
There's nowhere near enough cocaine in Istanbul for me.
All they have is weed, and I like uppers, not downers.
They do heroin. I don't like doing heroin. It makes me sleepy.
Happy Halloween.
Makes me sleep for weeks and weeks. So they infiltrate the wave crest in one of the best scenes I've ever seen in a movie, where Pam just comes in. She's like, "I'm the captain now." Don't question it.
Yeah, she's posing as the docking pilot. Which before this movie, I didn't know that was a thing, but I guess it kind of makes sense that like you want people familiar with the dock to park your boat for you,
bring in the boat.
Yeah.
And the captain doesn't question it outside of being like, "But you're a woman."
Yeah, yeah.
Women aren't allowed on scrub marines. What are you doing here?
And I guess he's kind of right because she crashes it directly into the dock.
Like, I knew it. This is why
From
we
the
don't
captain's
allow
point of view,
women on submarines.
From the captain's point of view, he's like, "I'm right. Women can't do anything." But that was all part of the plan.
Crashing it on purpose, guys.
Yeah, I know. That's why I just said.
Also, that
all
captain,
part of the plan.
jail. Put him in jail.
Yeah.
He's a sexist, misogynistic piece of garbage, and he deserves to drown at the bottom of the ocean.
True.
That and the cocaine too. That's
cocaine,
bad too. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Also, one good thing that kind of comes out of all of this, one plan that actually worked was Bond framing Crest for stealing the money in the first place.
Yes.
Bond puts the rest of the money in that
decompression chamber.
Tank. And then he's like, why don't you go down and look in the decompression tank? I think Crest might be hoarding your money, Sanchez.
And he's got dirty magazines under his mattress too.
Yeah.
And so much cocaine. Actually, wait, there isn't any cocaine.
There's no cocaine.
Yeah.
And also he framed somebody.
His jacket is puffy as fuck.
Yeah.
Duct tape to his chest.
Yeah.
I didn't see any
time
cocaine.
Every time he takes a step, little puffs of cocaine come out of his neck hole. Neck hole, that's what they call. Okay. So anyway, they pressure kill Crest, and we get that scene that you're seeing in behind Tim's head there, where they do the Big Trouble in Little China head explosion.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a good death, and also the guy is such a piece of shit that you're kind of like cheering it on. You're like, yeah, I'd like to see this guy's head blow up. Maybe
the original version was supposed to be more graphic than what we saw.
It's still pretty graphic too, so I can't imagine how much more nasty it was. But I guess if it's a PG-13, they can't get too wild with it. Like,
yeah,
the Broccoli brothers were like,
"No, too many brains. Roll back the brains a bit. I don't like it. Too goopy."
Just make a red splatter on the little porthole there.
You just pour some strawberry jam on it.
Yeah.
One of the cronies is like, "But what about the money?" Because now it's clearly covered in blood.
Yeah,
and then Sanchez is like, "Launder it."
It's
Was
covered
that
in
supposed to be a
sriracha
joke?
and raspberry jam.
Yeah. Bond goes back to his bed and pretends to be awoken by Sanchez. Who's
like a child on
throwing
Christmas morning.
Yeah. Who's throwing money at him. Like, "Great job, Bond."
Yeah. There's more where that came from.
For the intel, yeah.
And he's like really like leaning over him as he's sleeping too. Yeah.
It's
Good
uncomfortable.
morning.
Good morning, my sweet prince. Here's some money. Here's $1,000.
Here's thousands of dollars, sweet prince.
For that loose
I like
tip
that.
we found.
I like that Lupe is in the room. Sanchez leaves. Lupe stays. Does she come in after? Or is she there with them? Because it's like they're alone in the room.
She comes in
And then
after he
she's like-
leaves. Yeah.
Right. And Bond is like, "We should not be seen together, especially alone in a room." She's like, "But I want to leave with you. Take me with you." And he's like, "Oh God, not again. Well, I guess I have to have sex with you now."
Yeah. Let's see how it goes, I guess.
And then she reveals to Bouvier later that they did indeed spend the night together. And Q tries to rationalize the situation to Pam, and she's like, "That's no. I thought we had a thing."
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like,
Well,
James
Well,
Bond is
when you're an
just
international man of mystery, you have to sometimes have sex with every woman you come across.
He's like,
Yeah.
"Listen, lady,
Flag.
James Bond is a nasty freak ass bitch. He loves fucking. You can't stop him."
And he's coked out to the gills, and you know what cocaine does to the libido.
And then they sneak in a swear for a Bond movie.
Oh yeah, she says bullshit, right? She's like, "That's
Yeah.
bullshit."
Yeah. Which, that is bullshit.
Also, we get a a Q short film where he just has a broom and he opens it up to reveal that it's a walkie-talkie, and then he just throws it into the bushes.
It's like the wildest communication device you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah, like it's okay for him to have a walkie-talkie after they leave. Another thing too is that like that's either something he brought or something he made there or something he found there. But like he's always telling Bond, like, don't destroy Q Branch property. We want this returned intact. And you're always destroying property. And meanwhile, he just chucks it like right out the way.
Yeah. Don't need that anymore. Stupid device anyway. Really impractical. When you're using it as a walkie, you are clearly on some sort of like it's got like a crazy antenna that comes out, like a huge microphone.
Oh, it'd be great if he just talked to it in general, and he just thinks it's a person. And he like, he shows up at the end to the ball gala celebration at the end, and he's just like got the broom. Somebody's dancing with the broom.
Yeah, Broom's got a dress on. Have you met my wife?
Q was using.
She really swept me off my feet when we first met.
He was using a little bit too much mercury on that last project, and I think he's gone. I think he's finally gone insane.
Yeah.
Also, I gave him a lot of cocaine.
Yeah, and he's like, baby, give me an answer true. Dancing around with a broom. I love cocaine.
Everybody in this movie is just yelling that the whole time.
I mean, Pam looks at the two of them like, MI6 is a bunch of crazy people.
They're all fucking coked out. 007, 007. Do you have any more cocaine? No, Q. Not now. Damn it. I'm fiending over here, 007.
If I spit in your mouth, I might have enough residue in my mouth that might get you the high you need for now.
Oh my god.
Come here, Q, and open wide.
I don't like any of that.
Well, I had to up the ante. Speaking of upping the ante, they go to some sort of. I thought it was going to be like a Indian casino kind of a thing, but it's like an escape, like a spa kind of a place. And it turns out this is where they're building the cocaine. They're making the cocaine in this like lab.
Yeah, because the lab is hidden inside of this, because that's
Like
where
a
they're doing
retreat.
their pseudo-religious place. Which the artwork on it, I wasn't quite too sure what it was supposed to be because it looked like North American indigenous at first, like
right?
like North American Pacific type looking art. Where but it's they filmed in Mexico, so I was like, well, I don't know, and that's where they throw in that little comment about the $32 million cost for that place because that was the budget for the film.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and it is like it's an interesting location. I do like when they film in like weird, kind of cool stuff that you don't necessarily expect. You know, and they do it in a lot of Bond movies, right? Like that's one of the staples of Bond is like gadgets, ladies, weirdo villains with diamonds in their face, and cool locations. It's one of the reasons that I really like on Her Majesty's Secret Service. Like I put it pretty high up there because they built that weird sort of base at the top of a mountain specifically for the movie, and then the government like helped pay for it and stuff just to like have it maintained. And now has a Bond museum in the basement. It's cool. I like that stuff, but it's also cool when they find interesting architecture and stuff that already exists as well. I like that big weird sort of like it almost looks like a medallion or a coin or something like that has all that intricate carving all over it, and it's absolutely massive, and they do like a good job of showing you the scale of everything by having Blade Newton in the front. I'd be like, donation today, and then like way in the background you see this huge thing with like tiny little people on the phones and stuff in front of it. It's cool. Good job, cinematographer. I like.
You've done it. Dario. So we get that moment where Dario sees James Bond. He has a different relationship with James Bond. He knows James Bond is still active. And Dario tries to like warn Sanchez. And Sanchez, that's when he's kind of like, oh, I'm aware of kind of what's happening, but I can use him to my benefit. So maybe he doesn't fully know. This was a very confusing like kind of subplot for me.
Yeah,
but I think you cleared it up pretty well for me at this point.
Yeah, and it's
being
to say the least. Dario doesn't just outright trust Bond yet. So yeah, and when he sees him kind of sidelining the whole tour, that's when he puts the gun to his back and he says, "Do this nice and quiet," or whatever the line is. Because he ends up clocking him at first by even though he's wearing the mask, because they don't want to give him a contact high while they're walking through their facility, which is like, and then James goes, "Oh, I was really hoping to get high off of cocaine."
Yeah, I'm jonesing now.
Yeah.
I've been sober for like 4 hours.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Pam is traveling to this place on her own through a series of pretty funny little things. She's got that she flies in. She's got that family with like the sheep. She gets to the gate. She's like, "Let me in." They're like, Sanchez isn't seeing anybody right now. She's like, "Here's all this money." And then Wayne Newton takes her to like a sex room.
Yeah.
Like, this is soundproof in here, and we do a lot of meditation in here, if you catch my meaning.
We call this the Wiener Chamber. Do you want to know why?
Because of all the wieners.
We get to see how the cocaine is made. Science experiment. Pam gets
Messed up by the James Bond sting again.
Oh. Right. So we see how the cocaine is made. She gets the keys from Wayne Newton because she's got a gun. That was pretty funny because she fires a shot next to his head. It's like, "You're not going to use."
Holy hell.
Yeah, and then Bond does the craziest distraction I've ever seen, where there's a small little like window of opportunity to throw fire onto a bunch of gasoline.
Yeah, because they're in the middle of the demonstration that how they're able to sneak the cocaine into the United States is that they've managed to put it as an additive into existing gasoline, and then it can be filtered out in the U.S. So that way it's undetectable. The dogs can't smell it, all that stuff. So
they can burn it up if they need to.
Yeah, so that way and if they check it, it'll still ignite. Yeah, and that's what as they're doing that demonstration, that's when he chucks it and starts a massive chemical fire a couple of feet away from himself.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and the whole facility explodes. Slowly.
It just blows up. Yeah.
Wayne Newton's like, "Bless your soul." Whoa.
As they're escaping, I really like that Heller gets fucking forklifted. Drive up, he gets forklift right through his chest. That's how he dies.
Yeah,
that's pretty wild. Bond also tells Sanchez about, like, he knows about the stingers and Heller, and there's also that great sequence where you gotta have James Bond on a conveyor belt, and he's going to fall into the cocaine crusher, which is when I noticed that the cocaine bricks during that scene are just regular bricks painted white.
Yeah.
But Dario, Bond does everything he can to not fall into the crusher. Dario gets down and he's cutting his arm restraints that he's hanging from like the treadmill thing on. And as he's about to cut it, Pam comes in and shoots him. And he goes through the crusher in a pretty hardcore way too, which I thought was like interesting. Pretty gory for a James Bond movie there too.
It was like an Indiana Jones level villain death.
Yeah.
Which we need more of that in James Bond movies, fellas.
Why not?
Love it. Love it.
But yeah, we get this happens in like every James Bond movie where there's a secret lair exploding around James Bond and he has to escape, and he does. And then we get that great scene of it blowing up in the distance, and did they just blow up this place?
No, they probably had controlled explosions like in the foreground away from the actual facility, so they didn't do any damage.
Right.
Yeah.
But it looks good. It's definitely real and big.
Yeah, it looked awesome. That's the thing I love about these older James Bond movies. Like, everything's so practical because they didn't have.
Well, we should give the series its credit, because a lot of James Bond movies, even the recent ones, they go pretty practical with every chance they can. Even the Daniel Craig ones, like right up until the most recent one, they do have, obviously they need to, just for safety and stuff and scale, but like most of it, like that I can't remember which one it is, but like that train chase where the train car gets like ripped in half and stuff, like that's all done practically, and it looks really great.
Yeah.
I think James Bond in general, like they try to be as traditionalist as they can when it comes to the filmmaking, and I hope that they maintain that as long as they can. But obviously, the movie business is it's shifting and changing, and not necessarily for the better. But sometimes you can't blow up a whole goddamn train anymore like you used to be able to.
Well,
but I want an exploding train.
Well, when they put this into the greasy, rotten hands of Amazon, I'm sure it's going to be all okay.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. Yeah, because the Broccoli's no longer have control, and this is the first time since the inception of James Bond movies that the Broccoli's haven't had some sort of controlling say in what goes on.
Yeah.
So James Bond might be fucked, guys, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah, we'll see what they do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're notorious for having like one good season and then things just becoming bullshit after that.
Yeah.
Sanchez has the stingers and some other weapons. He gets in a car and takes off. I don't know what this guy is. He's some sort of an adjuster. He's some sort of like their finance guy. He looks so nervous the whole time about every single thing. He's also
he's like he's the money man. He's like essentially the one he's in charge of the business. You know, he's Mr. Business is what we call him.
Yeah,
there just to be like, this is the business, and this is how the business is working. The business, all the way up until I die.
But it's weird because he seems genuinely afraid when Sanchez is like, "Fuck them, fuck the Chinese. We're gonna move on from them." And he's like, "But sir, we've already paid them."
He's probably legitimately. They're working with worldwide criminal cartels. Like of course, like they could just easily kill all of them. And he's the one that's been facilitating the business, so he knows if they like go back on their word or betray them, he's going to be one of the first people that gets his head blown out the back of his head.
Yeah.
And that's basically what happens. Once again, he's trying to tell Sanchez about, like, I think one of the containers gets blown, and he's like, "But that's this amount of money." He's like, "You know what? You cost us too much money," and then kills the adjuster.
Yeah, time to get rid of some overhead then.
Yeah.
And that guy, another character actor for the Seinfeld fans out there, he played the Jimmy guy with the funny jumping shoes.
Oh, right, yeah. Mm-hmm. The guy who speaks in third person.
Yeah.
Oh, really? It's that guy?
Yeah.
George is losing it.
Yes, sir.
So they take off in a plane. Bond jumps down to one of the Coke tankers. Sanchez is in pursuit.
Coke tanker was my nickname in high school.
He gets control of the tanker. There's some truck-on-truck violence. Bond's truck clear. Oh, did you guys catch this? So the stunt happens where the two trucks like crash into each other, and one goes into the wall, and one is supposed to keep driving, but it like visibly stops.
Yeah.
Then the edit cuts to a POV of the truck still moving.
Yeah.
I know that's nitpicky, and it was just funny to notice. They could have just like cut the edit back by like a few seconds, and it would have looked fine. But the truck like visibly stops. Anyway,
my brain was almost fully off at this point. My brain turns off during car chases like crazy. It's wild. Like my mind just doesn't give a shit. It's like I don't care about any of this.
This is when I was like locked into all this. I wanted to see what ways these tankers could explode and crash into each other.
Yeah,
there's some great little moments too.
It essentially becomes a Mad Max movie at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I like Mad Max movie car chases. That's a different beast.
Well, those are done with a different type of competence.
Yeah. The movies are about those. Like this has just felt sort of like a classic stapled on Bond chase sequence that unfortunately was basically the end of the movie, which is meant to be like the huge climactic moment. But to me, put the car chase in the middle, make it something more personal in the end. I like that he lit him on fire though, with Felix Leiter's lighter. Yeah.
Also, finally, there's that great scene where the Jeep with the like cronies drives through fire, and then the wheels are on fire, and then Bond lets out a bunch of gas, and the wheels on fire turns into the whole truck on fire, killing like 4 guys at once.
Did that happen? I don't remember.
Yeah. And then they go over the cliff while on. This is where it's like this feels so over the top. Where it's like the Doctor and Naked Gun keeps crashing into things. Where the cronies on fire are now going over the cliff in the car that's on fire. And
well, no, but
the plane
Pam's driving the plane into the foreground while it's flaming.
Over, yeah.
Is that the climax of the movie?
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah, it's a lot happening, and it's like, okay, I guess
so much. Yeah.
Pam is flying around like doing stuff during all of this in an airplane too.
Yeah, because she crop dusts onto the cronies at one point.
I think the silliest thing about this whole sequence was James Bond popping a wheelie with a Mack truck.
Yeah, I don't know enough about trucks to know if that is a thing that can be done. So
you can pop a wheelie with a monster truck. I mean, similar.
It was done in the movie. It was real. But yeah, I don't know what kind of, like, if they had a crane to like lift it up like that or something beforehand.
Yeah, because like the rear two sets of wheels were still level, and it was just kind of the front cab lifted up. So yeah, I was like, oh, is that like a thing they can do? I don't know.
But yeah, there's
some stunt drivers. Oh yeah, it could be hydraulics. I just put it on right now just to like refresh.
Is there any information about how it was done, or are you just watching the little YouTube?
I'm just watching the actual movie. I'm just trying to analyze. I mean, it looks like it has a sort of like an elbow in it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that, they looked weird.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the final showdown is basically, I think you said it already, Steve. It's just, I thought it was going to be a whole thing, but he basically
it's just especially with these older ones where a lot of it is just like far shot of a car, far shot of a plane, cut to and you're like, okay, yeah, it's not that exciting, guys.
Yeah.
When they're shooting at each other from the moving vehicles and stuff, that's cool, but like a lot of the close up shots, you can tell that they're going like fucking snail pace in terms of speed. Like I think the opening to what was the other Dalton movie called?
Living Daylights.
Living Daylights, yeah. There's a sequence at the beginning of that where Bond is basically like trying to attack a guy who's in like a military jeep, and he's got all these flares that go off, and there's paint going everywhere, and like it just visually is really interesting and fun, and the speed, you can feel it. But the end of this movie to me just kind of, I don't know, it felt very video gamey, where I'm like, this is designed to almost be like a video game, which is, to me is it's not as, I mean, it's fun. It's just not for me, I guess, is what I'll say. Is like, these are the types of things where I literally can't even remember anything that happens in this scene because my brain was like, no, you don't have to store this information, Steve.
Well, it's also not very visually stimulating because it's a lot of like beige rock, and it's one guy chasing another guy running around a truck. So it's not the most captivating.
And like there's a lot of there's a fucking bazooka and stuff, like they have a lot of stuff that should be more interesting than it is, I guess, is what I'll say.
Yeah,
but they shoot those two missiles at basically nothing too. So, which I talked about earlier.
Yeah,
they're not even
there's the one stunt where the truck goes on the side wheels, which that's actually like quite good looking, but I guess it's not given enough room to breathe to really absorb it for what it is. Because you look back at the Man with the Golden Gun, where it has the great corkscrew loop car jump, and that's in the middle of the movie too.
The slide whistle.
Yeah, I mean that kind of undercuts it a little bit, but it's still like a good looking stunt. And so to get your a truck like that on the one set of wheels, like that's no small feat. And they don't really give it that much attention, but it uses up the second Stinger missile to be nothing.
Yes. It's like you think about the tank fight in Indiana Jones where they're fighting on top of the tank, and it's like they're traveling at like half the speed of smell. Like it's like the slowest chase sequence you'll ever see, but it's far more exciting because of the fight choreography and the fact that he's in a fist fight on this sort of death machine that is, slowly crawling to the edge of a cliff.
Yeah.
And it's all like the whole fight is like burned into my mind and probably will be forever. Whereas this, I forgot it and I watched this movie 4 days ago. And you guys are like, remember when the car goes off the cliff and it's on fire and all the guys are on fire? I'm like, no, I don't. I don't remember that. It sounds really exciting.
Yeah.
No, some people when big action sequences are happening, they're just tune out completely. Madison, my wife, actually, every time there's a fight sequence in a Marvel movie when we go to see it in theaters, I look over and she's out, she's asleep, and she comes back to when they're just like.
I am the same way for Marvel movies because you're basically watching a video game cutscene at that point. I'm like, it's all CGI fucking spaghetti monsters and gobbledygook. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck about anything that's happening right now.
Well, that's fair. That's fair. I get it. But then in the weirdest ending to a James Bond movie, I think, ever, he kills Sanchez. He gets reinstated with MI6, I guess. But he takes Lupe to a like gala, and then they're like together, but he sees Pam is sad. So he's like, fuck you. You Lupe, go with the president. And he's like, okay. And they're like, okay, we're together. And he jumps off a balcony into a pool next to Pam and then like kisses her. It's just a weird, right?
Yeah, and also like he's on the phone with Felix, and he's like physically half the person that he once was after recovering, I guess, a few days later from a shark attack, and his wife, his newlywed wife, is dead, and he's like, oh, it's Tuesday, it doesn't really feel like there's real consequences to all that, and meanwhile, like. The Hong Kong people and another British agent and like lots of people have died, perhaps needlessly, because of James Bond, and that's where I feel like the tone is a little.
Would have been great if Bond looked over and they were all Force ghosts at the gala. Like,
and Hayden Christensen and
and Jar Jar Binks
and Jar Jar Binks. Why not? So yeah, and I guess they have to kind of wrap that up a little bit, and then Felix says, "Oh yeah, and I talked to M, and I think you're going to have a job in the future." And it's like, well, if it's not serving fries in prison, then like, how does this make any sense? But whatever.
Yeah. That's what I was saying earlier. They probably retroactively gave him the license to kill for all of those kills, because otherwise he would be serving several sequential life sentences. Like, you're sentenced to 900 years in prison, most of all.
Well, it doesn't count if it's at the Hemingway house.
Yeah. It doesn't count if you shoot from the hip.
Give me your license to kill. No backsies. And he runs away.
I'll kill you if I have my license to kill.
He uses the physical license to chop up lines, and that's how the movie ends.
May as well.
Well, that's License to Kill. I think we covered everything.
Well, there's the fish wink at the very end. At the very end before credits.
Fish does wink.
Okay, bye guys. Thanks for watching my movie.
the
giant fish
from my point of view, actually.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch these people have sex in a pool.
Yeah.
Pepsi or Coke? Coke, please.
All help she's having. It's a reference to another movie. So we got a couple things we got to do here. To go into the final thought. Before we do that, I think we're gonna bring back, like I said at the beginning of the show, we're gonna bring back the MPAA rating game. Do we still have the sting ready?
The MPAA, everyone. The MPAA. Wow.
Actually, wait a second.
Yeah.
It's time to play Guess the MPAA.
I'm just putting Twinkerbell up so I know what about it. But hello and welcome back to the world's greatest MPAA guessing game. My name is Jonathan Felix Leiter III, and I'm joined here by my contestants today, Steven and Tim. Of course, this is Tim's favorite game he's ever seen in his life, and it's your fault, Tim.
Final Fantasy VII can go rotten hell. This is my favorite game.
Yeah, exactly. So the rules are simple. You both know the rules. For those just tuning in for the first time, the MPAA rating is a number given to pretty much all movies to denote that it's been rated by the motion picture something of something.
Association of America.
Yeah, to basically give it a rating.
Is
But that
this
is how-
toothbrush approved by the Dental Association of America?
we have a question
here about a toothbrush.
I'm just playing the rest of that movie in my head now, so that's why I got distracted there. But none of that matters. Basically, it's a 5-digit number, okay? I'm going to give you the first 2 digits of that number. Also doesn't matter. You basically just have to come up with a number between 000 and 999. I'm going to give you two. I'm going to give you each 2 guesses or 3 guesses. I can't remember how much it was. There will be a tiebreaker if necessary. You both know how to play. I'm going to keep track here for once. Tim, what's your first guess? The first 2 digits are 29. I don't know.
111.
It is higher. Steve.
800.
It's lower. Tim.
555.
Steve, it's higher.
650.
Let's do one more round. Tim, it is higher.
726.
Steve, for your final guess, it is higher.
768. Oh man.
Tim got it closest without going over. The number was 739. So the MPA for this is 29739. Tim got it closest, but close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. So you're both losers.
Horseshoes and hand grenades.
Horseshoes and hand grenades. I'm coming again.
It's all over my face.
And of course, we can't leave this segment until you play the great ending sting.
The MPAA, everyone. The MPAA. Wow.
Wow.
Well, I appreciate you dusting that segment off just for me.
You did this to us. Yeah, thank you so much for that. And now we can go into the Home Alone of it all, the final thoughts, and our ratings.
If you had to pick one, what do you think the Home Alone of it all?
the Home Alone of it all?
Can someone please tell me when the Home Alone? I
of it
really
all
gotta
happens?
know. When is the Home Alone of
What
it all?
is the Home Alone of it all?
Now that's the Home Alone of it all.
You like that one?
I do a lot.
I won't tell you that that when I also took my time with it. Listen, the Home Alone of it all is the idea that in the movie Home Alone, Kevin McAllister slaps down the blueprint, and it is kind of from then on, the rest of the movie is what we're there to see. Stephen and I have posited over the years that each movie kind of has that same sort of segment, but it can also just be your favorite sequence or part of the movie. It can also be it's sometimes just the third act. So, Tim, you've been here enough times to know what to do here. So we just need your Home Alone of it all, your final thought on the film, and then a rating.
Okay. Well, my Home Alone of it all for this License to Kill. I guess if you're going to see the trailer of it, it's probably when M delivers that whole thing. That is where I guess there's a lot that happens up to that point, but that is where things really start to speed up quite a bit. And I guess mostly because he probably feels the ticking clock of it all, that he's motivated more so from there on. And yeah, so when that's delivered and he's being fired at by other MI6 agents, that gives you the idea that he's truly on his own, and that's where this is going to be counter to a lot of usual Bond tropes. So I would say that, in my opinion, encapsulates that for me. As far as my final thoughts for it, as I said at the beginning, that this Bond movie is a bit of an outlier compared to a lot of the standards set in, like, especially the Roger Moore era, where very formulaic and like there's always a MacGuffin of a space laser, or there's something going up into space to do something down on the planet or whatever, and then essentially it's a vacation video of Roger Moore going to places, and little quips along the way that there's, for various reasons, things were changed and altered and toned down, and other emphasis given to the vulgarity of violence and all that, where you do see Bond bloodied up at the end of this movie. So for that era, at that time, to end off, Albert R. Broccoli's direct involvement with James Bond, this movie kind of, though understandably not on a lot of people's radar for their favorite, but in kind of the Lazenby type of uniqueness, it has its own little flavor to it, which makes it unique and remarkable, if for no other reason. And so for those that are hard set to find ways to appreciate Bond, I would say this is a part of the tapestry, and maybe a couple of torn threads here and there, but it is definitely a part of it. And there are things to enjoy and appreciate, but most certainly there's other things to, like, criticize and think twice about. But still, yeah, if you are a Bond fan, this is definitely par for the course. Now, as far as my final rating, I would have to give this 2 shark bites out of Felix. Those aren't small bites, ladies and gentlemen.
Very good. Very good.
I just took a look. It turns out this is your 11th time on the show, so I think we have to make you a 10 times club, Sting. But yeah, thanks for coming back. We appreciate your time, and you'll be back soon.
Thank you.
Steven, tell us all about how much you liked but also didn't like this movie at the same time.
I mean, I didn't dislike this movie in any way, really. I just think that it gets really messy in the middle. And I'm gonna sneeze. And I also think that it is far too handholdy. There's not enough intrigue for me. I think that James Bond is meant to be an international man of mystery and suspense, and it's not exciting when you know everything that's happening, and every device of the villain is presented to you in a really simplistic and meaningless way. It is different from the formula of most James Bond movies, where James Bond is on a quest for revenge, and so he's more of a hitman than he is trying to figure out things. He already knows everything. He's just trying to figure out how to get close. So it makes sense narratively. I just don't find it to be that intriguing. But that is not in any way to say that I didn't enjoy this movie, because I think it's quite fun. I think that Timothy Dalton is an excellent James Bond. I do think it's kind of sad that we didn't get to see him like once or twice more throughout his James Bond tenure. But again, not perfect, not my favorite Bond movie. I think I like his other movie a little bit more than this one. I just think that it does a lot of the same stuff as the other one, but I think the other one just does it slightly better. I think that the chase sequence at the end was extremely underwhelming for me, even though it's absolutely like bursting from the brims of like weird shit, like rocket launchers and flaming men, cars, wheels, everything. But like, again, like you guys are saying, like the only memorable part of that entire chase sequence is when the 18-wheeler does a pop-a wheelie, and you're like, whoa, cool, how'd they do that? Not the fact that a flaming car jumps over a plane. but like I do think that it is fun, and it's got lots of James Bond fun classic Bond antics, and I think if you like James Bond, then you'll like this movie. It's not the worst James Bond movie, but it's far from the best in my opinion. Yeah. And then my Home Alone of it all is camera gun, laser, X-ray. I'm stupid. I love that shit. Also, the fish. He was cool. I like when he was spraying Pepsi out his mouth. And my rating. I'll give this. I asked for Coke, but I got Pepsi.
Yeah, that's good. Interesting, because my Home Alone of it all is that final action sequence. I had a really good time with it, and I thought they blew their load as far as the budget went, I think, during that sequence, because so many things are happening. They have so many like crumpled 18-wheelers during it. I thought all looked great. A lot of a Papa Wheelie and a truck going on its side wheels, both things I love. Trucks on fire, all that kind of stuff. So I really enjoyed that sequence. My final thoughts are pretty short this week. I liked the movie. I had a good time watching it. I made kind of an afternoon out of it. I got to watch it at home on my couch. I really took it in and really enjoyed it. I don't think that there was too much that's like overtly bad, but like you said, Tim, there's lots to critique and to sort of ask why they did that. And the funny thing about the two Dalton movies is, in my head, they're very grounded, and they feel when I remember them, they feel very different. But this one specifically, talking through it, I realized that they took the comedy out of James Bond, James Bond of it all. Yeah. But they kept all the James Bond comedy in there. It's just happening around him. But I didn't, until we talked about it, I didn't really recognize how many actual Looney Tunes things, cartoon things are happening all through the whole movie. I don't think that necessarily hurts the movie for me. It's just kind of an interesting thing to realize when in my head I thought I see it as a different thing completely. I really liked that last action sequence. I thought it had a lot, and I really like the 80s look of the film. Like Moneypenny isn't in this one as much, but when she's in the Q Branch like lab in the last one, in front of a big like screen, it felt very 1980s action sci-fi. So I like that. I like that the most 80s thing about this one is the use of cocaine and cartels, which I also appreciate. If I was going to give it a rating, I give this movie a 4 out of 5, and I also give this movie 3 lines of cocaine. But can I just get one more line? Okay, but can I just get one more line? Okay, but can I just get one more line?
Got it.
Okay, but can I just get one more line?
That's what cocaine people do.
That's what the cocaine man's like. Okay, but can I just a bump? Just a bump. Do you want to go into the stall over here and do a little bumper booze? I'm going to keep talking.
Lots of experience with cocaine.
Nope, not at all.
Well, then maybe you should stop making the joke so people don't assume that.
No, I kept making the joke because you're supposed to give me the applause to shut me up.
I see. Now I get it.
And yeah, just before we get out of here, let's talk about our plugs.
Plugs? All right, let me just plug this in right here and.
That guy's died.
He did
about 70 times.
He died again.
Tim, do you have anything that you'd like to plug this week?
Not yet, but there are things in the back burner, and it's for me absolutely outside of my wheelhouse. So it's going to be there's a lot to talk about, but only when it's ready. Yeah, you gotta let that cake bake a little. But I'm looking forward to sharing stuff. Hopefully very, very soon.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Steve, what do you got cooking on the back burner?
I'm doing what I do. I'm the voice narrator and character actor for Darth Theorist, the YouTube channel, where I think we're about to hit 60K subs, which is cool. And
It is cool.
Yeah, and we also do the Three-Eyed Theorist, which is a Game of Thrones channel that does the same exact thing, where I'm also the narrator and the character voice actor for that. And I think we're about to hit 40K with that, so that's also pretty good. We're doing good. Or it might be 30. Anyway, whatever. we're getting up there. It's slowly growing, but it's doing well. And as always, I'm going to pitch Stanland once again. Stanland has come to its conclusion in the main series. The 5-part miniseries is over, but it's all available everywhere you can find podcasts, including at stanland.com and Apple and all that fun stuff. And in that same vein, we have started doing a mini series for Stanland. So if you're a subscriber to Stanland, you can access bonus content in the form of so far 2 bonus episodes, with another one coming this week. And it is called Dungeons or Dumpsters and Deadbeats. And basically the concept is some of the side characters from the Stanland series are playing a D&D style game where their characters are from our reality and they're real garbage humans. But I play an orc named Ukla. He's very devastated by the lack of fortitude and willpower of humanity. And he's like, how pathetic are these humans? But it's very fun. And I'm one of the main characters for those episodes. I'm also editing that, so there's a lot of fun stuff there to be heard. Some fun fake commercials, which Jason is also in one of those, which is kind of cool too, as well as a few other guests of our show in the past. There's lots of people. There's real life celebrities, but there's also our friends and friends of the show who make appearances on that as well. So it's really cool, and I would appreciate it if everybody who watches this show try to check it out if you can, because I'm excited about it. I think it's actually quite funny. But yeah, that's mostly all that I have going on right now.
Cool. Yep, as Steven said, the Dumpsters and Deadbeats spin-off series, I got to do a voice, sort of like a Manosphere podcast announcer, talking about this kind of a parody of like Manosphere podcasts like Joe Rogan. That's my first foray into voice acting. I hope to get some more. I'm hoping to do a bit more of that kind of stuff. Speaking of voice acting, it's more announcing, but I'm the announcer for Super Kicked Wrestling here in Toronto. I'm the face and voice of the promotion. We have a show coming up next Friday, the 26th, called Back at It Again. And interesting enough, I'll show the stills for the match card next week on next week's show. But friend of the show, Sam Campbell, also known as Slam Campbell, is actually getting a world title shot for his first ever main event on the show. Big props to him for putting in the work, working up to that point. I'm looking forward to it. Sorry, his name's Sam Gladstone. His wrestling name is Slam Campbell. I literally went to wrestling training with this guy, and I've watched his entire career, and to see him get a title match in the main event I'm elated for him. So we'll have him back on the show soon. I'll ask him all about how it felt for him. In addition to that, you can find this podcast. I know it's Sunday. This is a special Sunday edition. Thanks to everybody that came through tonight. It's not our usual way of doing things, but I think it worked out great. You can find us normally on Thursdays at 8 p.m. on Twitch and YouTube and Facebook. Live every week at 8 p.m., as I said. You can also find us. I usually put up the audio edition the next day and the on-demand version a couple days after that. And mark your calendars. Thursday, the 25th, is our 200th episode extravaganza. We've got lots of surprises for you. Some past guests have unfortunately decided on their own without me asking them. Will give us some little appearances from them. So I hope to have everybody come through that's part of the show. Maybe some guests will pop on. Who knows? Who knows? But we also have merch. You've seen it here before, folks. We have the familiar, the Grimoire Familiar Killers. That's our flagship series, our Gem in Our Crown. That comes back next month, where we will be moving over to Scream, replacing Friday the 13th. You can get this on a t-shirt here. You can get Kill-Aid. You can get Twinkerbell. You can get Zardos.
Oh, Zardos.
We got the Howie Mandela Effect.
Oh my God, you gotta get me that. Oh, I gotta get me that.
Yeah, you do. You can get Corporal Tunnel, which is linked to this James Bond month. Corporal Tunnel Syndrome is a Stephen Wonder's original James Bond villain. He digs through the ground. He's got shovels for hands.
Yes.
And he's great. And the Eldritch Millennial is also our newest available. Complete with tribal tattoos. I just noticed that. You can pick that up on Redbubble and TeePublic. You can get t-shirts and mugs and that kind of stuff. But outside of that, let's see. What are these comments? I Keldon. Yeah.
Hype. Tinkerbell.
Hype. Thanks for everybody who watched tonight. Thank you, Tim, as always, for coming through. You're welcome back here anytime. Obviously, we're going to get you to the 15 times club early next year, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll make you a personalized sting for you and Noel, the only two people that get to 15 episodes. But just before we get out of here, there's one question that needs to be asked each and every week, and I think you know what that question is. So, Tim, could you please ask that question?
Hey, did you see this one? I scared my cat.
Uh-oh.
She's okay. She's just wondering what the problem is, but it's okay, Sammy. It's okay.
Okay. Beam up some Star Trek content with Live Long and Podcast. A roundtable movie discussion with Hey, did you see this one? And movie reviews with Hold Up, a movie podcast. And take a peek into the darkness with Heard Noise, Must Investigate with Michael Chan. Watch us duke it out on trivial debates. And let's chat about TV with the Super Mater Brothers. It's all here on the United Federation of Podcasts.